One-year-old male driver, a passenger, staff member and first responder suffered minor injuries. Two office areas were impacted, with dust and smoke also affecting a recovery area, theatre and Ward A. Ambulances have been diverted while repairs continue. Australians are being urged to treat domestic violence with the same seriousness as terrorism. Domestic, Family and Sexual Violence Commissioner Michaela Cronin has handed down her report card into the issue. She's calling for more engagement with men to stop violence before it starts. Ms Cronin telling the National Press Club the issue must be treated seriously.
We need to take it as seriously as we take terrorism. It is not terrorism in the same way. And I think that what we need is for the community to take as seriously threats of domestic, family and sexual violence as they take terrorist threats, act on them as urgently and recognise that they are different.
Politicians who behave badly in Parliament House could have their pay docked under proposed new laws. Zach De Silva has the story.
After allegations of harassment, intimidation and even sexual assault, the Albanese government plans to crack down on misconduct in federal parliament. Under proposed laws, MPs and senators who behave badly could have their pay cut by up to 5%. Minister for Women, Katie Gallagher, says perpetrators will also be named and shamed.
I think that's a very significant deterrent.
But the reforms don't cover behaviour inside the House of Representatives and Senate chambers. Independent Allegra Spender says that's an oversight and is accusing opposition MPs of misogynistic behaviour.
The shouting, the mocking, the name-calling.
The coalition is defending its members, saying they're simply engaging in robust debate.
The Transport Workers Union is calling for a national safety net to protect food delivery riders after another road fatality. A 27-year-old man was killed after his bike was struck in an alleged hit-run in Port Melbourne last night. New closing loopholes legislation will take effect from next week, with the union set to submit applications to the Fair Work Commission on fairer standards for gig workers. The union's Michael Caine says food delivery riders have a right to feel safe while on the job.
Food delivery riders currently have no rights. They don't have a safe, fair minimum wage. They don't have sick leave. They don't have protection against unfair terminations of their work. They don't have workers' compensation rights in the horrific event like this that something goes wrong.
Barack and Michelle Obama addressed the party faithful on night 2 of the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. The former US president backing Kamala Harris's plans, which he says will build more homes, expand affordable health care and stand up for workers, but admits it will be a tough race.
The torch has been passed. Now it is up to all of us to fight for the America we believe in. And make no mistake, it will be a fight.
And Jennifer Lopez's 4th marriage is officially over. The actress and singer has filed for divorce from Ben Affleck on the 2nd anniversary of their wedding ceremony in Georgia. Now turning to FIVEAA Sport.
Take sporting entertainment to the next level at Sporties in the Aqaba Hotel, Adelaide's home of live sport.
Port Adelaide's Dan Houston's appeal is set to take place tomorrow. He was handed a 5-game ban for his bump on Crow Isaac Rankin. Geelong Premiership star Zach Toohey will retire at the end of the AFL season, while Sam Naismith is bowing out after 33 games for the Swans and Tigers. Yannick Sinner has described 2 positive drug tests in March as a deeply unfortunate period. The world #1 tennis player has been cleared of wrongdoing and avoids suspension after traces of a steroid were found in his system. And Aussie Test cricket captain Pat Cummins and his wife have announced they're expecting their 2nd child. Now checking FIVEAA traffic.
Help make a real difference to young lives. Register today for Operation Flinders City to Summit this September.
G'day there at Hindmarks. Urgent telecommunication works on Port Road near Park Terrace. Clarendon, urgent works on Clarendon Road near Grants Gully Road. Slow at the moment at Crafers West for works on the tunnels near Mount Barker Road. That speeds at 40 and expecting a shower or two in the next half an hour, so take it easy on the drive home. Cameras today, Grand Boulevard, Seaford Rise and Blacks Road at Gillis Plains. Dan Murphy's don't match prices, they beat them. Penfold's been $4.07, Cab Sauvignon 2022, just $99.90. Ends today. Choose to drink wise, T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic. on 5AA.
Now the 5AA weather.
Get the Toyota forklift advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Showers this afternoon, showers easing tomorrow 18, Friday showers 22, Saturday partly cloudy 22. Right now it's 15 degrees. Now let's check what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Brenton Braglis. Tonight, a heated crosstown clash brings a call from the top. Calm down on the showdown. A crash sends a car spearing straight into an SA hospital. The concerning side effect of Ozempic revealed. A spending slump sparks major retail sales. How to take advantage. And we're live with the latest on Port Adelaide's appeal against Dan Houston's ban. 9 News. Your news, nightly at 6 on 9 and on 9 now.
Setting the agenda for South Australia. This is 5AA, always Adelaide. The 5AA Sports Show.
Get around the little bar!
Stephen Rowe and Tim Jennifer.
Pick the beauty!
Yes, 6 after 4 o'clock on this Wednesday hump day. We're only days out from the final round of the home and away season, but the remnants from the showdown's fallout still lingers. I'll say hello to Timmy G and Campo.
Yeah, thanks very much, Sam. Give us a call, 8223 0000. Love your calls and interaction. Unique homestyle food texts, all happening here on a Wednesday. Been a long week, Campo. Wednesday feels like it's actually.
There's been a lot to talk about, hasn't it?
It's feeling like it's Monday every day. It's a bit like that, but yeah, mate. The decision was handed down last night. What were your initial thoughts?
I wasn't surprised.
No surprise in 5.
Yeah,
I think you predicted 5.
Yeah, well, in the call I said 4 or 5. I can't remember what I said, but I thought. If you take it on face value and what the AFL are trying to do, they'll probably want to make an example of it and see if we're going to get it out. And that's not always the right way of going about it. But, it was 3+ going into the tribunal when they've come with 5. So we'll see whether Port can perhaps hopefully get it down to 4. I think would be their only option to if they lose a final, that sort of gets him into the grand final, I guess.
Yeah, you'd have to. It's a long bow, but
Yep.
You play the last minor round, you say that first final, you probably need to drop that so that you can go back into.
I'm not sure they'd
semi
be like that theory, would they?
Well, quite frankly, you don't go with it. And a long time ago, but back in 1988, our captain got rubbed out for 5 weeks, which was back then 5 weeks in 1988.
Eternity.
Yeah.
And he was a lovely bloke, Russell Johnson. And anyway, got 5 games, and I'd never forget going to training that first night. Greg Phillips turned to me and said, "You know what this means to me?" And I said, "No." And he goes, "If we win our last 3 minor round games, we'll finish top. If we win the second semi,
straight in.
He can't play the grand final."
Yeah.
And we were actually thinking, wow, well, what do we do? And he said, "We win every game." and that's what happened. We went through and won every game, and Russell missed out. But you can't have the mindset that you're talking about. You just can't play around with that because it's too much riding on the line. So we'll see how the appeal goes. They reckon that might take place on Thursday. Depending on the results and the like. So we'll see how that one rolls out. Dan Houston himself, fronted the media and got his 5-week ban, and this is what he said.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate what I said this morning. I hope Isaac's doing okay. I flicked him a message, and I genuinely hope he has a speedy recovery. The club will issue a statement tonight with the next steps.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead with that, but I would say that there is... Yes, I would say that there's slim chance of him playing through the final series for Port Adelaide. So we'll see how that one rolls out. There was Koshi on breakfast this morning, and he spoke about Dan and the fact that he headed back to Melbourne on Sunday. Let's have a listen.
He's distraught about it, incredibly emotional about it. We sent him home to Melbourne to be around his family and his partner. He's taken it really hard.
Well, Koshi, interestingly, maybe a slightly different view of the trip. Now, you may have sent him home to be around his family, but Mitch Cleary reckons he was out elsewhere.
Houston actually flew to Melbourne on Sunday, so the incident with Isaac Rankin happened. He flew to Melbourne on Sunday morning after the showdown and was granted leave from the club on Monday and flew back to Adelaide on Monday night.
What was his itinerary during his stay in Melbourne?
And he had a form of catch-up with Carlton while he was here.
Ooh.
Now, I don't know how Carlton works for Dan Houston. Their salary cap is bursting. The Power aren't going to do this for anything less than $2 top 15, 20 picks. The Michael Voss connection, he was in Jack Silvani's wedding party, so there's a connection there. He may well have played his last game for Port.
Now, that was on the Tradies podcast that Mitch Cleary has. You know, I don't doubt Koshy was telling the truth. He was saying, listen, you know, we're sending him back to be around family. If this then has occurred, I'm pointing the finger at your old club, mate. You Carlton Blue Baggers, how dare you?
Well, talent wins, Timmy. We'll have a crack at anyone that we can get our hands on.
It was interesting to talk. They talked about, you know, what Dan might be worth as such, and does Carlton have that and all the rest of it. They do potentially have two Camporeale boys.
I can't comment.
You got an interest there, conflict of interest?
I had to have a conflict of interest, absolutely.
Well,
but I wouldn't mind Dan Houston playing at the Blues, though, on the flip side. Quality player.
What a player, yeah. And rookie, too. Can you believe that? He was a rookie.
I thought you were saying Carlton could put him on as a rookie. No, we'd take that too.
No, that's don't go too silly. But yeah, so we'll see how that one plays out. But in the meantime, what would you say, the outcry of Showdown? We've seen all sorts of things happening during the week and the like. Well, this is probably one of the most bizarre I've heard of post Showdown, and it's Matt Crouch has committed a hat assault. What? Well, it was a violent hat assault. He knocked the hat off of a Port Adelaide supporter's head. It's now, well, let's have a listen to Josh Money from Channel 7 and then Matthew Nix backing up Matty Crouch. Let's have this.
The midfielder was involved in an altercation with a Port Adelaide fan as he walked off the ground at the end of Saturday night's fiery Showdown 56. Crouch can be seen knocking the hat off a supporter's head. It's understood the fan was yelling at players over the fence. He took the matter to police, with SAPOL confirming they are investigating reports of an assault at Adelaide Oval on Saturday night.
The reason that we, I guess, allow fans close to the boundary line is for those kids that just love footy and they have idols and they have heroes and they want to come down and get amongst it and selfies and it's the really positive part of our game that we love. And then there's the flip side.
Yeah, now I would probably suggest that the supporter wasn't wishing him all the best in the future.
I thought he might have been pumping up and said, great game.
Yeah, something like that.
Nothing like that.
The only thing I can't get over is I've not looked into the laws of Australia, but I don't know that knocking a hat off is actually deemed as assault, is it?
Well, the hat might think...
Oh, the hat's upset. There's no doubt about that. He's very upset. But besides that...
Especially the peak. You know, very upset.
The thing it does, though, it always... Because we had an incident earlier in the year where a supporter hugged the guy, which I don't think was any malice in that, but he's been banned for a year, I think, for that. Supporter. So what it might do is just, again, get players further away if we just got to... just control ourselves when it comes to that moment. And that brings me to the next point, is Koshy again on breakfast this morning sort of spoke about taking the nastiness out of Showdown. Just have a listen.
We're going to have to really look at something before the next Showdown, both clubs, to take a responsibility for just taking the sting out of the Showdown, the nastiness out of the Showdown. You can't punch a mascot. You can't racially vilify a player, all that sort of thing. That nasty edge, and we must say from a tiny, tiny, tiny minority, is destroying it for everybody else.
Yeah, look, we've seen some silly things, haven't we? With, and in the past, we've had Eddie Betts racially vilified. You've
couple of occasions.
Exactly. Rioli, the punching of the mascot. I mean, that poor bugger. What did he do wrong? The hat. Rochelle, well,
we've got a text come through on the Unique Home Styles Food text line, haven't we, Tuggers?
Yeah.
And it looks like the hat's got a little bit of a heart monitor on it.
This is pretty smart. Whoever's done this with AI, this is clever. It's a Port Adelaide hat in an emergency hospital bed with all the plugs and things coming out of him.
The things they do. But look, I was sort of thinking, I think I've always said we've got to have the ability to banter. Healthy banter between ourselves, whether it be Carlton, Collingwood, Port Adelaide and Adelaide, or West Coast and Freo. You've got to have the ability to have that healthy banter. I was telling Sam a story off air. I went to a very famous Port Adelaide forward in Randall Gerlach's funeral, and Randall was a great player. Suffered kidney issues, so he's on a dialysis machine when he played and had to give the game away at 24 years of age, mind you. And he was a bloody champion, don't worry about that. I went to his funeral and it was really, I love this because he remained a Port man, of course, Port Paraka, and he's one of his best mates lived next door. He was a Crow supporter, and he was telling the story about what Randall did. He said he invited me over for Showdown, and he said in the first one I had no idea, but Randall had set the lounge room up, and he had sort of Crow stuff on the left-hand side and Port stuff on the right-hand side, but in the middle was 2 pieces of gaffer tape in a tram line right down the middle. He said that is neutral territory. And that's where the Eskies go.
That's great.
So at half time, they were able to get into neutral territory, grab a beer, have a chat about the game, and then go back to their side. And you weren't allowed to cross over in between that. Now, that to me is great, healthy banter, and that's probably what I want. 8223 0000. Tell us about some of the stuff you've done with mates like that, you know, a funny bet or whatever. But I think that's healthy banter, and what's not healthy, what needs to be taken out. And certainly racial vilification, there's absolutely no room for that whatsoever. Don't do it. It is not acceptable. But I think there's other things that perhaps could come out of it. And, you know, I think verbally abusing people and the like and players, it's about trying to keep that you want your players to keep the calm in a storm. You got to keep it too as a supporter. You got to try and keep control. So give us some healthy banter stories on 8223 0000. But that one cracked me up. I just loved it.
And you spoke about taking the nastiness out of Showdown. Well, it was interesting. Grant Stevens speaking on David and Will's breakfast show this week.
He actually said it was one of the better ones.
Yeah, have a listen.
I know there's a lot of talk about what happened at the Showdown, but we had over 53,000 people in one venue at an emotionally charged game, and we can count the number of incidents we had to deal with almost on one hand.
That's amazing. Only a handful of incidents.
That's actually a big tick.
But this is always these issues, though. There's always a minority in everything we do in life, in society, even away from footy. You know, there's always a minority, and that's the thing that we blow up about. There's a lot of good people in footy clubs and footy players and supporters do a lot of great stuff for the game and for community and charities and all those sort of things. But unfortunately, we get hooked on these 1 or 2 little incidences that get blown up.
Well, it's been a very busy week in terms of what happened with Showdown, the build-up to it. Do you need to take the spice and the nastiness out of it, as Koshi suggests, or do you think it's okay? Could it even go up another level? Do you like the divide of Crows versus Port over those weekends? 8223 0000. Love your opinions on where this one sits and how you feel about Showdowns. We have a massive show coming up. Jimmy Bartell to join us. Where are they now tonight? Kyle Chalmers is back in Australia and he's going to join us in studio, which we're looking forward to. And Zach Clough from the Reds also. More Royal Show tickets to give away. And, of course, our best caller tonight wins a $50 Powers voucher. It's 18 after 4. Lines are open, 8223 0000.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
He's one of Adelaide's favourite sons. He loves his Adelaide Crows, and each week he joins David and Will to share his footy tips and have a few laughs. Catch Fitzy, thanks to the new McSmart meal from Macca's. 2 burgers, small fries and small soft drink. $6.95. T's and C's apply.
Mario Mayola Promotions and 5AA present Hooked on Swing, starring vocal sensation Kate Black, the Three Little Sisters, and crooner Chris Lloyds, together with the Boogie Woogie Big Band and Swing Dancers. Come hear the music of Benny Goodman, Cab Calloway, Billie Holiday, the Andrews Sisters, Glenn Miller, Nina Simone and more. Hooked on Swing, Festival Theatre, Wednesday, October 2nd. Book now at Ticketek.
I bet your dad loves his nuts, and the very best nuts are South Australia's own Charlesworth nuts. G'day folks, I'm Brett Charlesworth, and we have over 50 stunning gift hampers, baskets and bags to choose from this Father's Day. They're all brimming with Charlesworth's mouth-watering nuts and chocolates. All you have to do is pick the one your dad will love the most, and then watch his eyes light up. You can't go wrong. Shop online now or at one of our 12 family-owned stores. Why Charlesworth this Father's Day? Because fresh nuts taste better.
If you're an empty nester, here is some good news about getting laid. Ooh. Of course, I'm not talking about what you're thinking I'm talking about. I'm talking about getting new tiles laid thanks to Life's Tiles.
And if you're thinking about renovating your bathroom or kitchen, the best place to start is by choosing your tiles, Tim. Very important, the tiles.
Yes.
Life's Tiles has a range and the advice you need to their huge location in Lonsdale. Every size, every style, all at the prices that mean you don't have to be compromised. You can choose the tiles you love.
How good's that? There's over 30 years of experience in the Life's Tiles team, so you can trust them to inspire you with options and designs. Now start your reno by getting laid with designer tiles at warehouse prices from Life's Tiles Lonsdale.
OxyShred Energy is here, Australia's fastest growing energy drink with zero sugar. It has gone viral on TikTok, perfect for the gym, a walk or work. Happy energetic vibes all the way. Don't crash, drink OxyShred Energy.
The passing of someone close places unique stress on family and friends. At this time, Farrell and O'Neill Funerals are here to provide reassurance and peace of mind. Farrell and O'Neill offer creative guidance and advice to tailor a service that best honours your loved one. Whether a large gathering or a small, intimate service, Farrell and O'Neill share their generations of experience in tailoring a unique and meaningful farewell. Proudly SA family owned and operated, because it's personal.
We are Enable Fitness Centre, home to the biggest and best equipped disability exclusive gyms in South Australia. We are your local award-winning registered NDIS provider. We are custom built, accessible to wheelchairs and ambulant clients with disabilities. In addition to providing exercise, physiotherapy and dietetics, we are proud to house SA's only underwater treadmill hydrotherapy tank. Join our community at Holden Hill, Marston and Elizabeth. Visit enablefitnesscentre.com.au for more information.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
22 after 4, Campo sitting in for Rowie. Do we need to take the nastiness out of Showdown? 8223 0000 is the number. We've got lines available. We'll get your thoughts on the air next for that $50 Pounds voucher. But first, let's read a unique homestyle food text here from Phil Henley. He said, well, just as well Matt Crouch didn't knock the hat off a Geelong supporter, otherwise he would have been charged with assaulting the cat in the hat. Goodness gracious me. That's where it's at the minute.
Hey, I didn't mind it.
You like that? All right.
That's a dad joke.
Let's get your roads sorted for Rossdale Homes, the custom home 2-story and split-level specialists.
G'day there at Windvale, Carvey Tree, the Golden Way near McIntyre Road. Hindmarsh, urgent telecommunication works on Port Road near Park Terrace. Slow works at Cravers West, the tunnels near Mount Barker Road. And busy at Wingfield, the Salisbury Highway near the Wingfield Ramp. Got a camera this afternoon. Where is that one? Here it is, Briar Road at Felixstowe. At Harvey Norman, get a bonus $475 gift card with the Samsung 648-litre French door fridge. Hurry, bonus gift cards on Samsung and Sunday at Harvey Norman. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Yes, back to your calls, 8223 0000, and also unique homestyle food text. Dennis has asked, have you heard if Port are challenging the 5 games? Yes, they are, Dennis, and it will be heard tomorrow night, I believe. So we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, he's got a 5-week ban. Just asking about perhaps taking out healthy banter and get rid of the nastiness in Showdown. Let's go to David Alberton. Go, Dave.
Yeah, g'day guys. Will Crouch be subjected to capital punishment? I hope not.
Keep the puns going. I like it.
Sharp.
Yeah. Hey, look, just an observation, and obviously you guys are an important part of the SA footy media. Friday, after Rochelle's comments, which I didn't take umbrage to, I wasn't offended by them. It was, pretty average sort of pun or sort of go at an old stereotype. But every media outlet ran that as much as they could across their socials. Print couldn't wait to get it into the paper. News services that night. It's a tension-filled week leading up to the showdown as it is. Now, I don't think the media has to take any responsibility for what they do, but there's no doubt they played a role in whipping the crowd into more of a frenzy than would already be the case. And Port were guilty of it last year with Burton and Jonas and Davies' comments, and I was upset with those at the time. You don't need to add any more fuel to the fire, but Friday's 24 hours leading up to the game, the media couldn't have whipped it up any harder if they tried, and then the fallout afterwards is the media sort of going, look what happened there. It's not a criticism, it's an observation, and people can make of it what they will, but I think everyone, particularly those that across the social channels, have a role to play with keeping things in check.
No, well played, Dave.
Great call.
Yep, well played.
Does it help that Josh put up went a third time? as
so
well
he did
on
it
his own Instagram
two
page.
different radio stations and then Instagram social posts all in the same 24 hours.
So I'm not sure what you're supposed to do. It's out there. You put it in the public forum. Of course, it's going to get some attention.
Yeah, and Dave's right. I think Porter probably got it wrong in the past as well. So there's a great unique homestyle food text here. It says, I think both sets of Adelaide fans, Port and the Crows, should grow up and stop embarrassing the state. Now, please give some of the other teams, their faithful supporters, a fair go. There you go. We've got Jimmy Bartell coming on, talking about a few other teams as well. So let's go to Greg at Campbelltown. G'day, Greg.
G'day, Timmy. I've been listening to what you're saying. For some reason, it's funny for the Crows to say about the hat incident. The incident where the mascot got punched on social media, it's been identified as a Crows supporter. Can you explain to me, Tim, why the Adelaide Football Club hasn't come out with a statement, I suppose, criticising that fan? That's far more of a joke than a hat being knocked off. There's a mascot that's just taking selfies, cheering up kids, etc., which is a cowardly act, one. And then the racial vilification situation, the Crows came out and said he's not a member, and that's it. The person was on social media, can be identified. When Matthew Nix is asked about the Crouch incident, he makes a comment, but I've seen nothing, and this adds to why there's hatred between the two sides. If the Crows do something untoward towards Port Adelaide, it's just accepted and people shrug their shoulders, and the Crows people, and including their club, can't wait to pour a bucket all over Port Adelaide. I want to hear them acknowledge that their fan punched the mascot and also their supporter vilified Willie Rioli. I haven't seen in any media outlet the incident with the mascot where they've acknowledged that that's not on and yada, 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 or with the racial vilification saying he's not a member. There still needed to be stronger commentary from the Crows saying that that person will be identified and told he's not welcome at any Adelaide Oval game. That's what I'm saying. The hatred is built on when Port Adelaide people were always being vilified and made fun of. When the opposition do stuff to us, we're supposed to just accept it, and that adds to the hatred. So until Adelaide takes responsibility and actually owns up for their shocking behaviour towards us, then they're in no position to criticise us.
So the Adelaide Football Club, so to defend them quickly, they put out a club statement yesterday in regards to the investigation with the racism at the moment. So that was a very firm statement the Crows put out. They said that the member wasn't an Adelaide Football Club member, but they condemn in the strongest possible manner the disgusting behaviour and reiterates there's no place for racism in our game. And then in regards to the punching of the mascot, it's a minor. So there's no possible action, but there hasn't been a statement in regards to that from the club.
Yeah, I personally think, I don't know, who the minor was or whatever. I'd probably, if I was the parent or whatever, I would actually take him down to apologise. Yeah. Because you don't want that sort of behaviour going on regardless. So it's just it's a parenting moment, isn't it? Right there and then. But I know where Greg's coming from. Yeah. Like if things can get blown up a lot more than what they are, but the minor still needs to be taught a lesson that that's not on. And now that's probably, like I said, a parenting moment. But if he had, and I know in my day, we used to front an A panel, they used to call it, but it was
an A panel.
It was an A panel. And if you did something wrong, you fronted an A panel. I'm only talking on behalf of my friends here.
Heard it secondhand, did you?
Yeah, heard it secondhand, and they gave you a damn good dressing down. And it was about sort of scaring you straight. Yeah, worked beautifully. Let's go to Rosemary at Uleybury. G'day, Rosemary.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. And Timmy, I include you in that one.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry, that was
all right.
just a little jive.
Oh, I like it. I like a joke.
Firstly, I thought Koshie's rant this morning was all directed at the Crows, and I was absolutely disgusted with his part in it. There was nothing that he said that was not directed at basically the Crows' action. And all he kept saying was, Houston is a good lad, he's this, he's that. So is Isaac Rankin. let's not forget, and yes, I do think well of Houston, but Rankin's the one that copped the hit, and that's who we should be worried about mainly. And also, if we're going to get rid of this antagonism, and the hat incident was absolutely ridiculous to involve the police in it, I think Adelaide Oval should get hold of that idiot getting over and abusing the players when they went down after what had happened during the match. And I think that's what happened. No opposing team should be on the other side of the opponent's race anyway. But my final point is to get rid of that antagonism, get rid of that black and white jumper, because honestly, Port players and
you had me till then, Rosemary.
No, but you need to get rid of it in that showdown, because that sparks a lot of angst, both in how good we are, or like it seems like your guys want to go harder because they're wearing that, and
they got beat pretty easily in it last year. So
but
not 100%
you've got
on
to.
that.
This is part of it, because I think your guys think they're invincible in it. Tim, sorry.
But the thing is with this, no one's questioning Dan Houston as a person.
No,
we're questioning and we're judging the action that he did. So it's irrelevant of how good a person he is. We're judging the action, aren't we? Is that fair enough?
Absolutely, and that's what's happened. The only thing I will say, good Matt, good unique homestyle food text. Unfortunately, with incidents at races and the like, eventually you'll see clear shields put up for the away team, so that therefore, again, no access and the like. You don't want that.
Yeah, no, we definitely don't. It's 28-5. We'll get Kyle Chalmers in the studio next after we check the headlines.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowie and Timmy G. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Good afternoon, Mel Usher with the latest news headlines. 4 people have been treated after a car went into a wall of the Victor Harbour Hospital. Politicians who behave badly could be suspended from Parliament or have their pay docked under proposed new rules. Dozens of flights have been cancelled in Japan and hundreds delayed after a pair of scissors went missing in a store near the boarding gates. And in sport, Zach Tui will leave footy following Geelong's finals campaign after 14 seasons across the Cats and Blues. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Help make a real difference to young lives. Register today for Operation Flinders City to Summit this September.
If you're passing heavy showers at the moment, so take it easy on the drive home and look out for a Cartby tree at Winvar, the Golden Way near McIntyre Road. Hindmarsh, urgent telecommunication works on Port Road near Park Terrace. Works slow at Crafers West at the moment. The tunnels in Mount Barker Road, and look out for cameras, Church Road, Campbelltown and Gorge Road at Athelston. Right now, buy a Ford Ranger and you'll get an amazing service offer at no extra cost. Select models only. See your Ford dealer now for full terms and exclusions. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, a possible shower tonight down to 10, a shower or two tomorrow 19. Right now it's 13 degrees. We'll have more news at 5 and as it happens on 5AA.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
A police investigation into an altercation after the showdown. He knocked my hat off.
I'm strongly of the view that charges have to be laid in this case. The guy with the hat should be charged with wasting police resources. Have you ever heard anything more pathetic in your life?
Adelaide's leading breakfast show.
Well, is the guy going to have emotional trauma every time he walks past a Rebel sports store and sees a pile of baseball hats?
Every time it gets sunny.
Let's just look over these flashbacks.
Weekdays from 6 a.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Treat your family and friends to something a little fancy from FIVEAA, your family liquor stores. If you relish your winter reds and you like them full-bodied, we have SA-made Shiraz, Cabernet Sauvignon and Malbec for you. A great way to warm up is with a dram of whiskey, and we have many great Australian distilleries with their own distinct flavours. Beer tastes change too, but you're covered with local craft stouts and porters. FIVEAA, your local independent SA family liquor store for over 45 years.
Uncle Mark, geez, he was a character.
He was larger than life. Remember that bright yellow Holden of his?
The HQ GTS great car when it was running.
Yeah.
And those fishing stories he'd tell up the river.
And did you notice that the one that got away got bigger every year?
On the bright side, I'll finally get my trailer back. The bugger's had it for 6 months.
To Uncle Mark, one of a kind.
A unique life deserves a distinctive funeral. distinctivefunerals.com.au.
Harris Scarf Spring Home Sale is on now. Refresh your bedroom with 30 to 60% off quilt covers and sheets by Linen House and more, plus 30 to 60% off quilts and pillows. Hurry, sale ends Friday, 23rd of August. Exclusions apply. Harris Scarf, great brands, great prices.
Introducing the all-new Volvo electric excavator. It's quiet and has no emissions or exhaust, so it's perfect for confined spaces. The battery has 48 volts and it's got zero tail swing radius, whatever that means. 2.7 tonnes of brilliant bright yellow, but it's green environmentally, but it's yellow, quite literally. Inquire today through Warren Mining for all your electric excavation needs, but also all your construction equipment needs, because Warren Mining do it all.
Drums, please. Unprecedented, unparalleled, unrivaled. The demo sale continues. Edwardstown Mazda are offering a minimum 10% discount on all Mazda demonstrator models and 2 years free scheduled servicing or $1,000 genuine accessories on new cars. Plus get a minimum $2,000 on your old vehicle. Only at Edwardstown Mazda.
It's gotta be
Edwardstown Mazda, the #1 destination for Mazda in SA. T's and C's apply.
Tired of waking up tired? IKEA can help. Start building a more sleep-friendly space with IKEA, the one-stop shop for snoozing. So wake up. It's time to sleep. Make it happen at ikea.com.au.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
23 minutes to 5. Campo's here for Rowie. Jimmy Bartell's coming up after 5 o'clock. Where are they now? Still to come as well. And if you stay listening, your chance to win Royal Adelaide show tickets. Geez, they are going like hotcakes at the minute. But Timmy, we have a special guest.
Oh, Campo, I've got some good news for you.
What's that?
We've got an Olympic champion in our midst.
In
How
our
good's that?
presence.
Yeah,
Great.
the great Cole Chalmers. G'day, mate. How are
Hey,
you?
mate, thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming in.
No worries.
That's very good of you. You're doing a bit of a media round, I'd expect.
Yeah, getting it all done today. Obviously, I've been away from Adelaide for quite some time now, and a few people are keen to have some chats, which is always nice. So, yeah, getting it done today.
Well, it's nice to be popular.
It is, exactly. You only get to have this feeling every 4 years, so got to make the most of it while you can.
You've been to 3 games now. What's the Paris experience like? And we spoke to Jess Stenson yesterday and asked her about the course she was doing, and she said, "Oh, Timmy, it's probably the most picturesque course I've ever run." She said it was just fantastic, going past all the landmarks and the like. Not that you guys get to do that in the pool, but how did you see it as a game? Because it's your third.
Yeah, I thought it was amazing. Obviously, the last one in Tokyo was COVID, so we're completely shut down, and it was a bit of a poorer experience. But this one was so good to go back to the normal Olympic Village, being able to mingle with everyone from all the other countries, kind of be back to normality was so good. And Paris did such a good job of hosting us and making us feel comfortable, safe. The venue was amazing. The pool was incredible. Like having 17,000 people inside of this stadium was something I've never experienced before, and they were so passionate and loud. So loved it.
You're saying about where you stay and all the rest of it. The swimmers get to finish first.
Yeah, they do.
Is that a good thing?
It's a good and a bad thing. Previously, it's been a good thing. Now they actually move us out of the village, so you've got 40,
really?
Yeah, so we've got 48 hours.
You get on a bus.
Done. Yeah, done. So you finish your competition, you got 48 hours to get out of there. So I think they obviously it gets hard because the rest of the sports, I guess, are still competing in that second week, and a lot of the boys like to let their hair down, all the team members, and they're getting home at 6, 7 a.m., 8 a.m. in the morning. Some of those guys I was watching, and I didn't get involved in the after parties this year, but they were getting home at people were getting up ready to go to their competitions for the day. So I think it just becomes a little bit too distracting. So they're out and then they're back in for that last night for the closing ceremony.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's nice that they got to go back because that is, I mean, for me, like Rio was one of my greatest experiences was that second week being in the Olympic Village, and you get to go to all these after parties and all these these sponsors put on these big houses, and you can go to like Beats and get free Beats, and go
In
to Oakley
Rio.
and get free Oakley. Yeah, and like everyone's there.
You
Like,
weren't even legal age, were you?
I was 18, just turned 18. Yeah, yes, I was. So I had the
Show us your
greatest week
licence.
ever. It was
Fake
so
ID.
good. Yeah, no fake ID. Real ID, 18.
How good's that?
Yeah, so
I'm fascinated, Kyle, with the Olympic Village. We don't see a lot, but we see a little bit on the TV. The beds. Just run me through that scenario,
what was
because
that?
a lot of people were putting it up on their
Yeah.
stories and those sort of things. It was like cardboard boxes or
Because
something.
weren't they biodegradable or something? Or?
I have no idea. I didn't look into what they were, but to be honest, they were the exact same that we had in Tokyo. So it was just kind of weird that so many people kicked up a stink this time around. But yeah, cardboard mattress. They had a recycled mattress. Sorry, cardboard bed frame, and then the mattress was made of recycled fishing net. So
wow.
Probably not the comfortablest thing for a lot of people, but still, you're in the Olympic Village.
But so how does run me through how the American basketball team get to stay off-site in a 5-star hotel? How does that work?
To be fair, a lot of the swimming teams, like the Americans, the Canadians, the French, a few South Koreans, a lot of the swimming teams actually moved out and stayed in hotels too. So
On the back of what they provided?
yeah, they got in there. They decided it wasn't good enough for them, so they all moved out. And I do understand to an extent,
Yeah.
like you're there to compete for your pinnacle of your sporting
Absolutely.
career that could,
Yeah.
you know, like if you win, you set yourself up for life sort of thing. You want to give yourself the best possible way to perform. But I think Australians are pretty tough, and we just enjoy being in the Olympic Village. And, you know, for me, I think a lot of people ask me about it, and I'm like, well, we're on an all expenses paid trip to France. We're on the other side of the world at the Olympic Games. You got a free bed, you got free accommodation, free food, free travel to the pool. Like, I'm definitely not complaining about it.
No, here. You said afterwards you're not retiring. You're going to keep swimming, which is great. Now, one thing I picked up, Kate Campbell was for Channel 9, working for Channel 9. I thought she was excellent. Gave us some great insights into everything that was happening. But after you'd finished, she said about the pressure of being a 100-metre swimmer. And she spoke about the fact is you're trying to talk about 0.04 and things like this, trying to improve that and have that pressure on for 4 years. She said that it's enormous, and all the swimming world knows that. But for people like us, it was a real insight for me to go, oh, wow, that's a great point. How has that been for you? I mean, this is now 3 Olympics. You've been doing the 100.
Yeah.
So what's it like for you? And is it just natural for you? You don't mind it?
Yeah, I think Kate, to be honest, would be someone that probably thinks about the pressure a bit more than what I probably have to an extent. Like, obviously, yes, there's been pressure on me because I was able to win in Rio, and then there's been the expectation that I'll win again. But for me, I love it. I love that moment. I trained so hard for that moment to be in the Olympic final, and I think that people don't remember the time that you swim anyway. It's all about swimming the race. Like maybe the swimming world who really follow swimming, they might remember the time you swam in Rio or the time I swam in Tokyo, but at the end of the day, everyone remembers, like, if I was to ask you what I swam in Rio, you have no
that's
idea. It's
right,
like you won gold.
Yeah,
But like,
I remember it.
So for me, it's not about swimming the time, it's about swimming the race and trying to get my hand on the wall first. So, but I do think it's really great that past swimmers become or get involved in commentary, and they do provide so many great insights that general public just wouldn't understand or know. And the greatest thing about Australia is we get so passionate about sports, whatever it is, and it's so good being at the Olympics and everyone getting around swimming for that moment when it's on, and they don't see the hard work that we do put in for those 4 years where we are doing hundreds of dives every training session or hundreds of tumble turns every training sessions, or the 50 Ks a week we do for that 100-metre moment. We get that 47 seconds in the limelight, so it is nice that the commentators are able to kind of give that bit of insight and perspective into what actually goes into that moment.
Yeah, and we got a bit of an insight too, Kyle, in terms of what Cameron McAvoy did. He went the complete, I guess, other end of the spectrum and went more strength-based program, less time in the pool. Is there any, I mean, clearly there's some validity to it because he won a gold, but do you now, as a swimmer, turn around and go, well, maybe there's something in that, and do you change something perhaps for LA if that's what you're aspirational to?
Yeah, for sure. I think it definitely prolongs my swimming career and excites me because swimming's a very old school sport where it's just been get flogged every day, get as fit as you can, do it 50 weeks of the year, have a couple of weeks off over Christmas if you're lucky, but it's all about training and training as hard as you can, whereas Cam's kind of gone the other way and doing way less training. Like, he might be doing 3 to 4 Ks a week maximum, where we're doing 50 Ks a week. And I'm 26 now, which is kind of the age that most swimmers would get to and retire, and we'd lose so many great talents because it's just been the mindset that that's the end.
I don't want to do 50 again.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas now Cameron's winning at 30, and there's been guys do it previously. So yeah, I think it prolongs people's swimming careers because they start to believe that it's possible. So it excites me, the thought of not having to do 50Ks a week and be able to go down and do a little bit less and enjoy swimming a bit more. And he gets to race and gets to have a lot of fun with it, really. Like, I think it's the 50 is one of the greatest events on the Olympic program. Like, all the boys walk out there with a fair bit of swagger and then just swim one lap of the pool. So maybe that's where my swimming career goes to from here.
Well, it's like the 100-metre final, isn't it, for the athletics?
Correct. Absolutely.
And you talk about having a little bit more time. I did a bit of research. You love the UFC. You obviously went over to Perth on the weekend. Did you enjoy that? And were you able to meet some of the combatants in there?
I did. I obsess over the UFC, and I got off my flight from being on the international flight back from Europe, and I was waiting for my bag, and I met one of the fighters, and then went to check into the hotel, met another one of the fighters, went down to breakfast, met a fighter. So I was getting photos with everyone, big fanboy moments. So it's funny how quickly your your perspective changes on that. Like, if I'm walking down the street and someone's asking me for a photo, I'm like, oh, it's kind of annoying at times.
Yeah.
And then you become that big fanboy moment that doesn't even remember that sort of thing of when it's you in that situation.
It's the impact, isn't it?
Yeah.
That it has on that person.
And
absolutely.
Did any of them recognise you, though?
Yeah, actually, one of the Kiwi fighters, Carlos Ulberg, actually had a bit of a chat to me, which was cool, and we caught up at the casino. He wasn't fighting that night.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. But,
something you might do in the training regime, get in the octagon and maybe roll around on the mat?
My body is horrendous. I've had operations on both my shoulders.
You can't even play a game with your mates in Lincoln and footy,
exactly.
can you?
Imagine that.
Yeah.
No, wouldn't last very long.
Out of there.
I'm suggesting not. Hey, 26 Com Games.
Yeah.
Are there any rumours about that? I mean,
yeah,
are we going to get one?
The latest rumour was that it was going to be in Glasgow. So that's what I'd heard from the head coach of Swimming Australia the last time I'd spoke about it, which is great for me. I was obviously really excited. Like, a few years ago, it was kind of, that would be probably one of my last swimming competitions in front of a home crowd. What a way to go out. Whereas now, I really want to swim on to the next Olympic Games. But it just breaks up that 4-year cycle having a Commonwealth Games. So it's exciting that Glasgow are hopefully putting their hand up to host it and we get to have that competition.
Yeah, because you'll have Worlds, of course, as well and the like. But that's great that you've set your mind. You're thinking, LA.
Yeah. I think you've always got to have a goal or something to work towards and achieve. And the Olympic, I'm fresh off the Olympic experience, so it's fresh in my mind about how awesome it is and how exciting it is. I'm sure in a few years' time, if you ask me, I might be in the grind mode of, this sucks. But
got a few life things to tick off too. Got the engagement happening. Well done to the lovely Inga. I met late last year, so you've done well there. Plans for the wedding? Need an MC?
Yeah, we do. Actually, if you want to come to Norway, we are looking for
You're not
Are you fluent in Norwegian?
Very.
Good, sweet. That's perfect. There's very few Australians that are, so that's
I'll
perfect.
test him out, Kyle. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions a little later, and I want you to respond in Norwegian. And you can listen, Kyle.
I think I might have to brush up a little bit. Yeah. Norwegian wood.
I need to brush up a bit till then as well.
That'll be awesome, mate.
Yeah, it will be. It'll be very special.
And you've got a date set or not?
Nah, no dates yet. Obviously, we got engaged, and then I headed over to the Olympics, so my mindset was pretty focused on that. And we've only just got back to Adelaide on Monday, so
cool.
Time to start thinking about those things, which is exciting. I think it's probably changed my perspective on life a little bit more. Like, it's not fully swimming focused now. It's being back in Adelaide and settling back in. And
you're maturing.
Exactly, maturing finally. I had to have it at some point.
I love it. I love your nan and your pop reading out the text message.
Yeah, that was so good.
Yeah, I'm glad your mates don't read out the ones you send them.
Yeah, I know. That would be worrisome. Very similar all the messages.
Thanks for coming in. Really appreciate it. We know you're doing the media round and all the rest of it, but it's really great to have you in the studio having a chat, and we just love watching you compete, and we'll want to see you again in a couple of years' time, perhaps Com Games and then LA.
That would be awesome. Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Well done, mate, and all the best with the wedding too.
Thank you.
I'll be in touch.
You'll be there. Not be in touch.
Another cashy.
Happy days, Timmy. Another cashy. Very well done. Hey, let's get you along to the Royal Adelaide Show, because we know these tickets are as hot as ever. You can book your tickets at theshow.com.au, and you can go to Foodland, or you can win them here on 5AA. 8223 0055. Timmy's quiz coming up straight after we check your roads.
A few heavy showers passing through. Take it easy on the drive home and look out for a Carvey-triggered wind var, the Golden Way near McIntyre Road. Hi, Marsh. Urgent telecommunications works on Port Road near Park Terrace. Slow for activity at Crayfords West. The tunnels near Mount Barker Road, and busy right now at Port Road at Port Adelaide. Camera Seaford Road, Seaford, and Smart Road at Modbury. The new Google Pixel 9 Pro XL and Google Pixel 9 Pro Fold have landed at Optus. Enjoy powerful help with Google AI. Visit an Optus store today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Need help navigating the NDIS? Anglicare SA is here for you. As a trusted NDIS provider, we offer tailored support to help you live independently. From supported living arrangements to one-on-one assistance and therapy services, we cover every aspect of your needs. Whether it's finding the right accommodation, learning new skills, or accessing treatments, Anglicare SA is your guide through the NDIS. Empower your life with Anglicare SA. Visit our website or call us today. Anglicare SA, your partner in living the life you choose.
If you're ready for the legendary Hilux, your journey starts at the brand new Jarvis Toyota, Brighton Road, Somerton Park. Save across the entire Hilux range, unbreakable since 1968, including the first ever Hilux GR Sport, inspired with Dakar DNA. Hilux GR Sport is available now and boasting more power and torque. Jarvis Toyota, Brighton Road, Somerton Park, proudly celebrating 23 years of great deals. Visit their brand new showroom today.
Don't know what you're doing Saturday night, but I've got a great idea for you, Campo.
Tell me.
I want you to experience an iconic night of greyhound racing. 2024 Nationals are on this Saturday at Angle Park, with the best chasers from Australia and New Zealand contesting 2 Group 1 national finals.
Yeah, it promises to be a great night of action-packed racing, made even better if you book yourself into Chaser's Restaurant with a special dinner and drinks package.
Spot on, and not getting up close is more your thing. We'll get trackside and enjoy live music, food bands, bars, kids' entertainment, you name it.
Yep.
All free for the kids.
Yep, but also for general admission, it's just a gold coin donation, Timmy, to get in, and gates open at 5:30.
How good's that? For more on the 2024 Nationals on this Saturday at Angle Park, visit greyhoundracingsa.com.au. Don't let the game play you. Stay in control and gamble responsibly.
You wake up in the morning, there's 2 scam texts and a fake invoice email on your phone. It's the never-ending war against scammers. But Australian banks are fighting back. Intelligence sharing between banks will identify new types of scams faster. A new payment system to make sure you pay the right person is being rolled out. Unique identity checks will help combat identity theft. And there'll be more double checks when you're paying someone new. Australian banks are working to protect you.
Specsavers do hearing aids. That's surprising. But here's the real surprise. Our prices on high-tech hearing aids are also surprisingly low. Visit us online and compare today. Specsavers for high-definition sound at low Specsavers prices.
Thanks to SolarHeart, smart savings are in the air and on your roof. By replacing your old water heater with a SolarHeart heat pump, you can create hot water out of thin air. And with our smart solar power systems and trusted SolarHeart warranties, you'll turn sunshine into savings for years to come. Right now, you'll also save $500 on any SolarHeart heat pump or solar power system 5 kilowatts and above. That's right, $500 off heat pumps and solar power. Get smart. Get SolarHeart. Terms and conditions apply.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
8 minutes to 5, Jimmy Bartell coming up after 5 o'clock. We'll get back to your calls in a second. 8223 0000 for that Powers voucher. We're talking about Showdown, the rivalry and the nastiness that we've seen in the last couple of days. Do you think it should disappear? Should we just tone it down a bit, or do you like it the way it is? Get your thoughts on after we give people a chance to get to the Royal Adelaide show, Timmy.
Absolutely. We've got Les and June on the line. Now, Les, you're going to go first. You get the first crack at it, but I'll give you a range, okay, on the question. For 2 Royal Show tickets, the question is, Jason Horne-Francis has the most clearances of any Port Adelaide player this season. How many clearances does he have? Now, Les, it's between 100 and 120.
114.
114. Okay, we got June. It's between 114 and 120.
118.
118. Okay. Les, it's between 114 and 118.
150.
Congratulations, Les. You got it, mate. You nailed it. 115 clearances. You get 2 tickets to the Royal Adelaide show. Congratulations. And anybody else that wants tickets, go to theshow.com.au or Foodland. Congratulations and thanks for playing, June. My apologies for not winning.
All right, let's get to our next caller. John's on the line. Hi, John.
Hi, boys.
Hey, Johnny.
Hey, Tim. Cheers, mate.
Hi, John.
And Tuggins. Hey, just on I read Scott Hodges' book from Go to Woe.
Yep.
It's not all black and white, a couple of times.
Yep.
He tried to take his own life because of Crow supporters in the early days, right in, and that's just a fact. I mean, I blame the late David William Hooks, KG Cunningham and Graham Corns for this, because in the 1980s it was Kickervick and State of Origin football, all the rest of it, and some football supporters can't handle that banter and don't know the line. I'm sorry to buy, and I've also, and then in January 1995, the year you got to Carlton Campo,
Yep.
Graham Corn starred on the 5AA Sports Show, January 1995, and said all port supporters are feral. So I blame them as much as anybody else. And then I say, anybody's got any doubts, just read Scott Hodges' book from Go to Woe, where he says the Crow supporters completely turn of their own. And Rosemary, she's not the most. Had she forgotten about Mark Bickley in a certain showdown? Had she forgotten about when Robert Shaw was coaching the Crows, when they played the body like the bull under Robert Shaw with on Martin Shit on Dean Kemp? Had she forgotten about Michael Murphy in the early days? She reckons she's an ex-AFL supporter from way back, a North supporter. She talked about the 1991 bloodbath between West Adelaide and North Adelaide. Thanks, fellas.
See you, Johnny. Always passionate. Let's go to Nuri Utpa. G'day, Martin.
Yeah, this one's for Campo. Do you think, obviously, with the Houston, or what's been going on with the Houston, do you think that's taken the heat off Nix's, the loss of the game, obviously the showdown, and where they're going to finish in the ladder this year? Because I've not heard the Crows fans come out and sort of say anything about how that Nix is signed on for another season or 2 seasons. All they've been going on about is the Dan Houston incident.
Yeah, look, I think it's probably a reasonable question to ask, Martin, to be honest. I must admit, I hadn't really thought of it that way. We're probably entrenched in what's been happening with Dan Houston and everyone's talking about it. But look, I think it's probably a valid point. Ultimately, at the end of the day, they are going to finish 15th no matter what. I guess the question always begs, did they go a bit early on Nixie's 2-year extension, or should they have waited perhaps till the end of the year? And the question begs, would they have given him an extension knowing the end result? Hindsight's always a wonderful thing, isn't it, in our game? But look, I think it's a good question to ask, but let's get some callers in. If they want to call in and have that conversation with us, we'd love you to.
Absolutely. 8223 0000. That's the number. The lines are open for you. As we get to the 5 o'clock news, Jimmy Bartell will join us shortly.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Hey there. If your car service is coming up, book your next service at Mawson Lakes Volkswagen. Our winter service includes battery check, a tyre check and report, brake check and report, loan vehicle, next day servicing and car wash and vacuum. All complimentary with our winter service offer. And don't forget we have free Wi-Fi, coffee and snacks if you're waiting with our express service. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen for next day servicing. Salisbury Highway, just a short drive from the city.
Why choose between growing your portfolio or shrinking its carbon footprint when you can do both? With LGT Crestone, you get the trusted service of a local firm and the strength of a multinational, giving Australian investors the best of both worlds. To speak with a private wealth advisor, visit lgtcrestone.com.au. LGT Crestone Wealth Management Limited, ABN 50005 311937, AFSL 231127. Eligibility criteria apply. See website for terms.
Great choice, great savings. Now is the perfect time to buy a new caravan or motorhome from Camporeale RV Centre. With great deals and an extensive range from leading brands like Winnebago, Corrimal and Windsor, as well as a great selection of pre-owned products, we are a one-stop shop for caravans, campervans, motorhomes and more. So what are you waiting for? Visit Camporeale RV Centre Parafield Gardens to find the perfect RV for your next adventure.
We open our doors to people we trust and care about. And for over 85 years, South Australians have been opening their doors to Rest Haven. In turn, we've been opening doors to an easier, better life at home. From personal care to help with the shopping and social outings, you'll welcome the care that Rest Haven brings.
When you've been around for over a century, you know a thing or two. And South Australian Business Chamber and Ray White have almost 300 years between them. So when an alliance is formed between South Australian Business Chamber and Ray White Business Sales SA, all that experience flows to you. This ensures you're in top shape, whether you're buying, selling, or somewhere in between. Touch base with the experts. Search Ray White Business Sales SA. Proudly partnered with South Australian Business Chamber.
Hi, it's Jane Riley. Fashion is a passion for me, but keeping up with trends that last 5 minutes is exhausting. If you prefer classic styles that never go out of date, go where I go, Sydney Street. For 35 years, this iconic SA fashion store has helped mums and daughters find their timeless style, and with over 60 quality brands on their racks, finding your fit is effortless. See the new stock at Sydney Street on Unley Road. Shop online at sydneystreet.com.au.
The news and information that matters. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
A possible shower tonight, down to 10. A shower or two tomorrow, 19. With the 5 o'clock news, I'm Mel Usher.
Experience the 2024 new-gen Mitsubishi Triton with 10 years warranty and servicing. Test drive at Agostino Mitsubishi.
A class action has been filed against Jetstar on behalf of customers whose flights were cancelled during the pandemic. Melbourne law firm Echo Law has initiated the action in the federal court for those who held tickets for domestic or international flights cancelled by the airline between 2020 and 2022. It's alleged Jetstar failed to refund customers despite being legally obliged to do so. Lawyer Andrew Paul says the number of people covered by the class action runs into the hundreds of thousands.
There's a huge degree of dissatisfaction with Jetstar out there. People know that they've been treated unfairly and they haven't necessarily known how to pursue their legal rights, but what we're seeing is in response to the class action, people are joining up very quickly.
It's been a hive of activity at the Victor Harbour Hospital this afternoon after a car went through a wall. 2 office areas were impacted with dust and smoke, also affecting a recovery area, theatre and Ward A. A Holden hit a Tesla and then slammed into the hospital just after 9 this morning. 4 people, including the 61-year-old driver, were treated for minor injuries. South Australia's most courageous citizens were honoured at Government House today. Over the past 150 years, the Royal Humane Society has honoured nearly 9,000 individuals for their remarkable deeds. Among those recognised today, Tyrone Anthony's and Ashley Gow-Smith for rescuing an elderly woman from a burning house at Oaklands Park in 2021.
It does change your lives though, just the way you think and do things, makes you more aware. If you see something, just don't drive past or let it slip and let someone else do it. Stop and be proactive about it.
Politicians who behave badly could be suspended from Parliament or have their pay docked under proposed new rules. The federal government plans to set up an independent commission to investigate allegations of misconduct. Labor says it'll make Parliament House a safer place to work. Minister for Women, Katie Gallagher, says perpetrators will also be named and shamed.
I actually think it's less about probably the fines and removal from certain positions. It's more that will be clear, it will be publicly known that that's what's happened, and I think that's a very significant deterrent for members of Parliament and senators.
JFK's grandson, Jack Schlossberg, has addressed the party faithful on day 2 of the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. The son of US Ambassador Caroline Kennedy, he borrowed a popular phrase from the 60s while endorsing Kamala Harris.
Like President Kennedy, Vice President Harris has dedicated her life to public service. She believes in America, like my grandfather did, that we do things not because they're easy, but because they are hard.
Barack and Michelle Obama and Kamala Harris's husband Doug Emhoff also took to the podium. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Take sporting entertainment to the next level at Sporties in the Aqaba Hotel, Adelaide's home of live sport.
Port Adelaide is appealing Dan Houston's 5-match suspension, and success could mean he plays a part in the club's finals campaign. He copped the hefty ban last night for his bump on Isaac Rankin in the showdown. Crows coach Matthew Nix says it was a passionate game.
We played against a side that were playing for top 2, top 4. They were playing for finals. The competition's so tight. So it was a huge game, and with that comes an intensity. And the intensity I think we all enjoy and love. When adrenaline is pumping and emotions are high, sometimes we can overstep the line.
After being denied a farewell match in front of a hometown crowd in Melbourne, Essendon veteran Dyson Heppell will play one last game. The retiring bomber will pull on the boots against Brisbane at the Gabba. Now the side is out of finals contention. Coach Brad Scott adamant there was no ill will from the retiring champion or other senior players about Heppell being left out last week. Scott says he addressed the issue internally after reports players were unhappy about his omission.
I did, just purely because that's very surprising to me, but I'm absolutely assured by all of our senior players that that's not the case. And the fact that there was a report that went nowhere from there tells me that that's the case.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Help make a real difference to young lives. Register today for Operation Flinders City to Summit this September.
G'day there at Winvala, Carvey Tree, the Golden Way to McIntyre Road, Hindmarsh, urgent telecommunication works on Port Road near Park Terrace. Slow for works at Crayford West, the tunnels near Mount Barker Road, speeds at 40, and getting busy at Verdun, the freeway near the Verdun ramp. Cameras today, Church Road, Campbelltown and Gwyn Street at Firle. At Harvey Norman, get a bonus $200 gift card with the new Samsung Galaxy Fold 6. Hurry, bonus gift cards on Samsung ends Sunday at Harvey Norman. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
A possible shower tonight down to 10, a shower or two tomorrow 19. Friday, showers 24, Saturday mostly sunny 22. Right now it's 13 degrees. Now let's check what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Brenton Braglis. Tonight, a heated crosstown clash brings a call from the top. Calm down on the showdown. A crash sends a car spearing straight into an SA hospital. The concerning side effect of Ozempic revealed. A spending slump sparks major retail sales. How to take advantage. And we're live with the latest on Port Adelaide's appeal against Dan Houston's ban. 9 News. Your news, nightly at 6 on 9 and on 9 Now.
Stay informed, get involved. 5AA, always Adelaide.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
Welcome back, 6 minutes after 5 on this Wednesday evening. Still to come on the show. Where are they now? We're going to be talking 1991. Samford Grand Final. We all know what that was. Zach Clough from the Reds to join us shortly as well. Deep in pre-season are at Adelaide United. And more Royal Show tickets to give away shortly. But right now, thanks to Statesman Windows, Adelaide's most trusted boutique window company. SA family owned and operated since 1980.
Bartel checks sides it brilliantly.
He can do it all, James Bartel.
Here's my Broadway man.
Jimmy Bartel on the 5AA Sports Show.
Yes, each and every Wednesday we get the great Jimmy Bartel on to talk all things AFL. Jimmy, welcome, mate. How are you?
I'm not too bad, fellas. Yourself?
Excellent. We've had a big weekend in Adelaide, let me tell you, with Showdown 56.
Have you heard about it? Have you heard what's going on over here?
Yeah, I'm not sure if they broadcast it over there or not, but it was a cracking game. The schedule now is 28 apiece, but we had a fair bit of fallout, let me say, with the Dan Houston bump.
Yeah, you sure did. And I mentioned this when I spoke to you last week. It still baffles me that it's not a standalone game. I guess, as you said, 28 all. I think you've proven enough that it should be its own showpiece event, and for people who aren't from South Australia to tune in and watch, because obviously, I've got a few connections with the Cats, but Geelong and St Kilda's on, and I'm flipping back and forth because I want to watch that game because second half, that game turned pretty entertaining. But I think the Showdown needs to sit on its own, and I think it's something both CEOs should approach the AFL and say, hey, make this a Thursday night or a Friday night or in the 4:30 or whatever time slot best suits people in South Australia to either get to, sit down, make a day of it or an event of it, because it is something spectacular. But I can't believe that out of all the comments, your mate Koshy there says, can we all just settle down a little bit? What's he talking about?
It's a bit of irony, isn't it? What did Jimmy?
Yeah, well, that's what sells. I get a bit tired of people saying, we're in the entertainment business. That was peak entertainment on the weekend. Now, I know it wasn't the nice of acts, but the build-up, with obviously Rochelle saying Port fans have no teeth, and then, the fire in the game, and then, as you mentioned, we're still talking about the Showdown Australia-wide. So I'm not sure what Koshy's talking about there.
Hey, Jimmy, you mentioned about standalone. There was one on the first time we played this year. It was on a Thursday night. Is that the slot for you? You reckon Thursday night, clean it, the whole country can watch it. Maybe it is a Thursday night game.
It depends what you want from the game as an Adelaide and Port Adelaide football club. Do you want it to be, I guess, broadcast, while everyone's sitting at home, or do you want it to be a whole day build-up, whether you've got activations around the ground or, whatever you want it to be. So I know different teams prefer different time slots. My time at the Giants, that twilight is much better for them than nighttime. So, it just all depends what each club would prefer, what gets them the most eyeballs, but also turn up to the gate.
And Jimmy, a little bit of Melbourne flavour, and in terms of Melbourne, the AFL team with Christian Petrarca, can you give us a little bit more on that?
Yeah, I think Campo, it came down to communication. You've been involved in footy clubs a long, long time, that sometimes you take things for granted, but the most basic things often get overlooked. And by all reports, it was just a communication breakdown. So, the people in charge knew why Christian was up in Noosa recovering and the reasons around it and why he wanted some time away, but I don't think the entire playing group was completely aware why he was doing it. And, things fester if people don't know. So that's why it brought about Christian, going, hey, look, this is why I went. And then I think by reports, everyone's a bit happier there. But there keeps being rumours and reports, and too many to think, it's just people flying kites, that if Christian was out of contract, he might have explored his options elsewhere. So that says that there was a pretty big disconnect. And obviously for Melbourne, they kept saying during the pre-season earlier this year, they're culturally strong, it's the greatest culture ever, but they've got a number of issues, and unlike a lot of other footy clubs, and every footy club has issues going on, theirs seem to be been getting out into the public, so they've got to actually address how they're going about things, I guess, from a playing and football club point of view.
And I guess, you played in three flags, Jimmy, over a reasonably short period of time. Isn't it interesting that, Collingwood miss out this year, and the other teams in previous couple of years have all missed out the following year? How did you guys at Geelong stay at that level? You obviously had a really strong leadership group and a very competitive group. But is it mindset? Is it relief? Is it, a shorter pre-season that you're not prepared as good as what you were the year before?
Yeah, because we've seen either one or the other, the runner-up or the winner, just fall out the eight.
Yeah, I think it's a number of factors. Injuries can play a factor. How much real depth do you have on your list? I think, and I mean this with no disrespect to Collingwood, but they won their three finals by, I think, a combined total of 12 points. So they weren't exactly one of the real dominant sides we've seen in recent times. It wasn't Hawthorn blowing away sides in a grand final, or one of my Cat sides where we won pretty convincing there. So I think the competition was incredibly level, and we're seeing that this year, that you're off by a couple of percent, you lose a game. And we've seen a number of teams where, if you went back now and look retrospectively of games that they just coughed up by a point or two, it's the difference between them playing finals or not. So if you have too many injuries, I know the next guy up and you've got a really good system, but there does become a tipping point of how much your team drops off. And then the opposition, they're just going to give you their best all the time. And Collingwood's game is built around pressure and that 2 to 3 metre bubble. If they've got that up, because their system's so strong either side of the well, then their defence gets pulled apart. Guys in their back line look, which is why they're so far off. They're too proactive. So I think sides have just gone to work on them a little bit more.
Hey, Jimmy, Dan Houston copped 5 weeks. They're challenging that. Firstly, I asked a question during last night's show. Do you think finals should be perhaps weighted differently in that, say, you miss a prelim or a grand final compared to round 3 or 4? Do you think there's any merit in that? Because the tribunal last night said no.
No, well, I don't think you can. I understand where you're coming from, but we've got enough confusion already in our game. But I think the 5 weeks, you have to appeal it, because obviously, Port to be thinking, well, they're going to make a charge to a grand final. What's the harm in having a throw at the stumps if he's potentially available for a grand final, or you get it down a bit further to a prelim. I think it's always good to, challenge the ruling, and I think there's always opportunities to do that. Now, the AFL makes it pretty prohibitive with the cost, but, you don't really care about cost if you're putting your best side out for a prelim or grand final, do you? So I think it's worth the challenge. I think maybe where it is at the moment, you get heavier suspensions in grand finals just to stop, guys getting clocked off the ball to try and win a premiership and all that sort of stuff. I'm sort of happy where it lays at the moment.
Well, and the last one, Timmy made a really good point yesterday. We were talking about the bump, and would it be fair to say that, we see, I guess they brought in a new rule after Maynard with what happened in the prelim final with Brayshaw. Do you think like the bump up the front, or I guess the shirt front, will be now eradicated from the game, and you will only be able to bump from side to side to eliminate the grey area with what we've seen with Dan Houston?
Yeah, I think they're trying to tell us that, aren't they, Campo? But my whole issue, and poor Timmy's listened to me bang on about this all year, is if that's your plan, own it. So I hate how they're not actually owning their thought process of thinking. We're just finding out in retrospect or as it's happening. If you want the game to be, all right, there's no bumping, there's no shirt fronts or things like that, come out as Andrew Dillon or Laura Kane and say, I want this out of the game because and then let everyone debate it. But at the moment, let's go back to a really simple one. So insufficient intent. So pretty much, if you kick it off the ground and it goes out of bounds between the arcs in particular, they'll pay insufficient intent. Yep. But no one's come out and actually ever said, hey, if you kick it off the ground and it goes out, it's on you.
That's right.
So just communicate it, but it's almost like this fear of, I don't want to be the person in history who outlaws something or changes the rules dramatically to affect the impact of the game.
Don't worry about it, just do it. Yeah, as they say.
Yeah.
Ollie Wines plays his 250th game this week. I got to say, when I heard it, I thought, wow, that went quick. Yeah. And it's been quite a career, a Brownlow medal in that and the like. He's still searching for a premiership glory. But how have you seen Ollie's career?
Wow, that went quick. I was exactly the same. He's been a magnificently tough player, and the thing I like about it is, everyone was really quick to critique Ollie more because of his body shape, going, he'll fizzle out of the game because he's too heavy. He's too strong in the legs, but he just kept winning the football and just proved if you're smart, you're good in a contest, you can win contested ball. And I like, when he's really on, he does ask some questions by driving the ball forward, and that's probably the thing when I've really loved his games is when he's hit the scoreboard as well, because he just becomes a different prospect. Well, we know how good he is around the contest, but what a magnificent career he's had, and hopefully everyone at Port celebrates him really well.
From an Adelaide point of view, they'll finish 15th, it looks like, to finish this season off, and probably a season that promised a bit more than what it delivered. You were at Geelong in 2006 when there was a pretty serious review that went on, and of course we know what happened after that, 7-9-11.
Yep.
Do you reckon Adelaide are at a point that they need another one of those, or they've sort of spoken about they're going to look at every little detail to go about it, but where do you see Adelaide currently, and is it as serious as perhaps where Geelong were at in 2006?
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough for me to say because I'm on the outside looking in, but I think reviews are good. I don't like how people think as soon as they hear the word review it has to be... Yeah, there's a negative connotation with it. I think what you've really got to get down to is the actual plan is right, and if people believe the plan is right, have you got the right people executing it? And so by doing a review, you can actually work that out, and do you have the right pieces in place? And I think that's what Brian Cook did in the Geelong one is, right, like where we actually really sit, and sometimes you have someone internally, and then you can have someone who's smart enough with football that doesn't have to be there day to day, because you can get a little bit too close to your own decisions. So I often think in football with list and recruiting, sometimes they're the last ones to let go of a player because they're the ones who recruited them, because they're really invested, because it's their personal selection. They want to prove a point. They want to, whereas someone might go, hey, he's not that good, or hey, he should be playing on a wing, not at half back. So it's how you structure a review, what sort of answers you're looking for. And I think for the Crows, it'd be, what are we doing looking forward to the footy? Are we keeping Tex for a year to educate, big fog and Philthorpe again. What's our back six look like? If you think you're close, I always think you should be, if you put the headline on the whiteboard, 50 games to your next premiership or 60 games, whatever, how close you think you are, and then make your decisions off the back of that. It can give you a bit of clarity.
Love it, mate. Each and every week you give us clarity, Jimmy, so thank you very much again, mate. Appreciate it.
Anytime, guys.
Fantastic. Jimmy Bartell, all thanks to Statesman Windows, Adelaide's boutique window company, trusted by the best builders in Adelaide. And just like Jimmy Bartell, they are elite performers, consistently delivering at the highest level. Need the best windows? See Statesman Windows.
He certainly is elite. It is 19 minutes after 5. Let's check your roads.
A few heavy showers passing through, so take it easy on the drive home and look out for a smash at Penfield Gardens, Northern Expressway near Heathloop Road. Another crash at Dry Creek on the north-south motorway near the Port of Expressway, and Windvalla Carvey Tree, the Golden Way near McIntyre Road. Camera tonight to Smart Road at St Agnes. Get 25% off all Kumu tyres at My Car Tyre and Auto until the 25th of August. T's and C's apply. My Car Tyre and Auto. People first. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowie and Timmy G. Are you ready to go?
It's showtime!
It's time for the Royal Adelaide Show, and it's time to celebrate our state, our people, and our produce. 5AA wants to get you and the family to the Royal Show to enjoy everything it has to offer, from rides, animals, wood chopping, Dagwood dogs, and of course, the fireworks. Keep listening to 5AA all across the day for your chance to win Money Can't Buy tickets. The Royal Adelaide Show, August 31st till September 8. Book tickets at theshow.com.au and Foodland.
Join Gliderol in celebrating the Colorbond Steal the Show promotion. By purchasing a roller door or sectional door made from Colorbond steel from Gliderol, now or within the last 12 months, you could win $100,000. Visit gliderol.com.au today for a free measure and quote. Retail customers only. T's and C's apply. See colorbond.com/steal the show. 18 plus only. Strict purchase and eligibility criteria apply. Ends 30/11/24.
Steinborner Automotive has always been well worth the trip, and now there's Barossa Mazda, Murray Street, Nuriutpa. It's SA's newest Mazda dealership, and it's having its first clearance sale. Save thousands on new and demo Mazda CX-5, BT50, CX-30, CX-60. In fact, the whole Mazda range. Experience the difference in the Barossa with outstanding service, a great range of vehicles, state-of-the-art new facility, and you'll see why Barossa Mazda is well worth the trip. barossamazda.com.au. You could live the dream in a brand new Scott Salisbury bungalow in Glenelg East with no mortgage, no worries, and $500,000 in the bank. The Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery is back. There are over 10,000 prizes, including $1 million cash, plus luxury vehicles, holidays of a lifetime and more. Life-changing prizes, life-changing impact. Get your tickets now at homelottery.com.au. Licence M14585.
From the very beginning, she's been there for you. By your side, through thick and thin, you've raised a family together, supported one another's dreams and goals, and when things got tough, you got through it together, Campo.
Yeah, so this anniversary or birthday, Tim, for your loved one, express your gratitude and love with a handmade statement jewellery piece from Bell & Brunt, a fifth-generation family-owned custom jeweller with over a century of experience.
Yeah, how long married now for you?
I'll be 19.
Oh, I think you're right in this zone.
Yeah.
Right in the Bell & Brunt
year.
zone.
Gotta
You
save
are.
up.
Well, this is what you should do. It could be a ring, a pendant, a bracelet, diamond earrings. Bell & Brunt, they got the master artisans creating something unique for your partner easy. Now, you take Ellie down there and you say, oh, Ellie,
What if she's got one of all those?
Or, yeah, well, she probably hasn't got one by Bell & Brunt.
Fair enough.
That's the difference. Yep. And we're going to tell you the standard is outstanding. Now, using only the finest natural materials and paying meticulous attention to every detail, showcasing your appreciation and your love.
Yep, and don't leave those moments to just any jeweller, Tim.
No.
Celebrate your partner with something special from Bell & Brunt. Visit their updated studio at 14A James Place in the city or visit bellandbrunt.com.au. Bell & Brunt, crafted for generations.
With IGA's Community Give Back sale, you can make big savings.
And help support local causes.
Just look for tickets on specials like Supercoat Smart Blend Dry Dog Food 2 kilo varieties, $12.50 each. Now at your local IGA. Offer ends August 27 while stocks last.
Looking for exceptional early learning and care for your autistic child? Discover Anglicare SA's Daphne Street Autism Specific Centre. Our state-of-the-art facility in Prospect is run by a skilled team who offer expert education, specialised therapies and a play-based curriculum designed for individual growth. With a focus on early intervention and inclusive care, we ensure every child's unique needs are met. Give your child the best start with Anglicare SA. Visit our website to learn more. Anglicare SA, where every child's journey matters.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
Campo sitting in for Rowie. He's back next Tuesday night. It's 24 minutes after 5 here on this Wednesday. Where are they now? Right around the corner. More Royal Show tickets to give away as well. But right now we're taking your calls for a $50 Pals voucher, 8223 0000.
Okay, let's go to those calls. At Modbury, g'day, Greg.
G'day, boys. How are you?
Good, mate.
Good, Greg.
Good. Just a bit of banter that I remember as a kid. I went to a state game. It was SA versus Vic. Tony Lockett was playing through full forward, and the ball was locked in the SA's forward line for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And was dead silence in the back of the half, and someone screamed out, "Want a game of cards, Tony?" And the whole bay just laughed and lit up and cheered, and Tony gave round and gave a bit of a smile, and then play went on. But I just remember that as a kid.
Hey, Greg, you got away with murder there. Tony Lockett smiling.
Do you see what he did to Peter Coburn?
Yeah, gee whiz, I tell you what. He was a fierce man.
Oh,
wasn't he?
yeah.
God, and could get angry. Let's go to McLaren Vale. G'day, Mike.
How you going, guys? Just a couple of points from the showdown that I think haven't been spoken about enough. The role the umpires had in this by not paying by reporting it, giving 50, and that would have spread the players out. And as it was, the play went on and they all got together. Had the umpire stepped in, reported, got the ball going, I think a lot of that stuff would have been averted. So I think they've got a fair bit to play in it. The other point I would say is that I think people are underestimating the importance of Houston to Port Adelaide. I'm not a Port Adelaide or Crow supporter. If I was a Port supporter, I would have rather lost that game and had him for the finals.
Yeah.
I think he's one they can't replace, as against some of those other players. The other thing about David Koch's comments about everyone needs to take a chill pill, well, had Matt Crouch run through and knocked out Connor Rosie, I think the thing could have got out of hand because of the numbers on the crowd. And based on that, I would think, has there ever been consideration given to splitting the crowd 50-50 for these games? And because obviously you get a minority crowd like that, and it doesn't matter who it is, if something like this does happen and things boil over, they can get a little bit isolated and stuff. But my main thing is, and actually one other point, David King, I thought it's been a bit radical with some of his penalty expectations. I'm actually starting to come round to him because the players aren't learning. I think they need to up the penalties. These things need to go from 6 to 8 and up. Until the players start to learn what you can and can't do, they're not learning. And I used to think they were stupid, but I'm actually coming around to his way of thinking. The players are still doing this off the ball and clipping guys. And this one was bad because, to me, the guy was in the air. He had an easy opportunity to tackle him and take him to the ground and actually get a free kick. It was one of the dumbest things from the player, who's obviously quite intelligent and he's not a dirty player. So, I just think there's a lot of these points. The umpiring is the number one thing that I think should be focused on. They played a big part in how this thing got out of control.
So I listened to Razor Ray, thanks Mike, who spoke on radio today. He was one of the umpires of the four on Showdown night. So he had a few things to say. Push in the back. They couldn't call push in the back because it wasn't in the back. They couldn't call a high hit because the umpire in the moment didn't think it was a high hit. They just thought it was a body hit. And they can't call forceful front on contact because that only counts in a marking situation. This was in general play. So in terms of free kick side of things, the umpires in the moment, they've justified it as they didn't see a free kick to be paid. And then in terms of the melee and playing the footy on quickly, because the player who's injured is the number one priority, you can't restart play until they've been stretchered off the ground. So they had no levers to pull to stop that melee other than hoping leaders could step in and pull it apart.
Not sure about the third one, though.
No. Now,
what difference does it make if it's a marking contest or in general play?
Apparently that's how the rules are written.
Yeah. Again, let's get back to that. You can't bump up the middle.
Yes.
You take that out. Our good friend Mouse, he texted in, said 4 umps who umpired that showdown should be dropped. And they had a dirty night, didn't they? They had a dirty night. Let's go to Mansfield Park. G'day, Michael.
G'day, how you going?
Good, buddy.
I just wanted to ring. I was backing up Jimmy Bartell. That was actually what I was ringing about earlier. And I think Saturday night should be a premier fixture, like a standalone game. Like you have all your showdowns and your derbies, your New South Wales and the Q Clash on the Saturday night, and you make it a standalone game. People go to the pubs and the clubs that night. They watch that game. It's just a feature game. These 2 games on a Saturday night seems like you're taking away from the premier event. And then for the Melbourne clubs, you could have the big 4, Carlton, Collingwood, Essendon and Richmond, and then maybe add a 5th team, that like the form team, outside, like it could be Hawthorn or Geelong, the highest ranked team from this year gets to join the big 4 for that premier Saturday night fixture, the one game.
Yeah, I like it, Michael. Absolutely, I think that's a great call.
With the AFL,
because it's different, isn't it? It is frustrating. I mean, even before we got in this seat, doing some calling, flipping back, and when there is 2 good games on, you sit there and go, geez, I actually want to watch this game, and then you're flipping back on that one. So that's a good call.
I think it gets back to Tredder's point on Monday, and that is the broadcaster will decide when those games are on, not the AFL. So, great thought, though, Michael. You're in the running for that $50 Powers voucher.
Yeah, keep your thoughts coming in. 5:30 headlines coming up, and where are they now next?
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Good evening, Mel Usher with the latest news headlines. Jetstar customers are taking the airline to court as part of a class action over alleged unpaid refunds relating to the pandemic. A landmark report has found more funding is needed for the nation's frontline domestic violence services. JFK's grandson Jack has addressed supporters at the DNC, throwing his support behind Kamala Harris. And in sport, Port Adelaide is appealing Dan Houston's 5-match suspension. Success could mean he plays a part in the club's finals campaign. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Help make a real difference to young lives. Register today for Operation Flinders City to Summit this September.
Heavy showers passing through. Take it easy on the drive. And look out for a crash and car roll over at Penfield Gardens, Northern Expressway near Heaslip Road. Another collision at Dry Creek, north-south motorway near the Portver Expressway. And a carving tree at Winvale, the Golden Way near McIntyre Road. Busy Brighton Road, Brighton with the camera at Gwyn Street at Firle. Dan Murphy's don't match prices, they beat them. Great Northern Original $3.75 ml cans, 30 block, 3 for $160 for Medwiths. Ends today. Choose to drink wise. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast: a possible shower tonight, down to 10, 19 with a shower or 2 tomorrow. Right now it's 13 degrees. We'll have more news at 6, and as it happens, on 5AA.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
The South Australian Liberal Party can hold its head kind of high on 2 grounds. It's not the Victorian Liberal Party, and it's certainly not the New South Wales Liberal Party. Say what you like about them. There might not be many of them left in South Australia, but at least they get their forms in on time.
They haven't been decimated like the Western Australian Liberal Party?
No.
Adelaide's leading breakfast show.
So the South Australian Libs are kind of the hope of the side.
The pace setter.
Weekdays from 6 a.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
How to get Dad off-road with confidence and give him a shot at the ultimate Father's Day gift. Get into TJM and check out their Father's Day sale on now. You could win the old boy or yourself a trip for 2 to the NRL Grand Final in Sydney with flights, accommodation and an incredible game day experience. Spend $79 or more on TJM products at TJM Ranella or Nailsworth to go in the draw. Head in store now. T's and C's apply.
Specsavers do hearing aids. That's surprising. But here's the real surprise. So do lots of other places. The only difference are the prices. Specsavers are surprisingly low. You know, there's nothing worse than finding out you could have got the same tech for less. So compare prices today in our wide range of top quality, high-tech hearing aids. You'll be pleasantly surprised. Visit us in-store or online for high-definition sound at low Specsavers prices.
Thanks to SolarHeart, smart savings are in the air and on your roof. By replacing your old water heater with a SolarHeart heat pump, you can create hot water out of thin air. And with our smart solar power systems and trusted SolarHeart warranties, you'll turn sunshine into savings for years to come. Right now, you'll also save $500 on any SolarHeart heat pump or solar power system 5 kilowatts and above. That's right, $500 off heat pumps and solar power. Get smart. Get SolarHeart. Terms and conditions apply.
Over 50 and ready to dive into something amazing? This is for you. We're planning for your future with 2 new over 50s lifestyle resorts in Goolwa and Encounter Bay. With our vision for world-class facilities and endless activities, your next phase of life could deliver your best years yet with pools, gymnasiums, bowling, greens and more. Visit our new display centre at 1 Banfield Road, Goolwa North, or check out lakesideresort.com.au or oceanviewresort.com.au.
Watch out, my trolley!
Oh no, another dent!
Don't worry, Dent Revolution will fix it.
Dent Revolution? Are they expensive?
They made my car look like new with their paintless dent repairs. They're quick, RAA approved, cheaper than traditional repairs, and they can come to you.
That's exactly what I need.
Dents happen, but we've got you covered. Visit dentrevolution.com.au and send us your dent photos to get a quick quote today.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
25 minutes to 6. Zach Clough from Adelaide United still to come. More Royal Show tickets to give away. Love your calls as well. Interaction has been fantastic tonight. 8223 0000 if you want to get involved. But right now, let's get into this for Walco. Again, at the centre of SA's biggest cover-up. Get your Walco Guardian pool cover right now.
The 5AA Sports Shows, where are they now? Past legends, past glories.
Well, fans of Sandford back in the 80s and 90s would remember this name. 59 games with the it was just the West Torrens Football Club back in those days at Thebby. 124 games with North Adelaide, twice premiership player there, and was actually picked 2 in the 1986 National Draft to St Kilda. Now, didn't go, but we'll find out exactly why when we welcome Stephen Sims to the show. G'day, Simsy.
Timothy, how you going?
All right, mate, all right. Now, were you a Modbury boy growing up?
I just played under 16s there.
Right.
Yeah.
And what?
A couple of A-grade games.
Yeah, where did you grow up then, and how did you get to West Torrens?
Well, I grew up at Holden Hill, which was West Torrens area.
Right.
And so I played all my juniors down there.
Yeah. And then, that was in the early days. When did you make your debut for the Eagles?
In 83 against Port.
Oh, how did that go?
Not real good. It was at Alberton Oval, and our coach then was Glenn Elliott, who played with you boys at Port.
Yeah.
And he told me I was Stan Ivan Eckerman. And he said he'll talk to you all the time like he's your best mate. But he's not really. He's just there to beat you.
How did you go with Eckie? He's not too bad a bloke, is he?
Nah, he's all right off the field. Most people are.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Your time at West Torrens, how did it come to the end? Because I know that you ended up going to North Adelaide, good timing too, in 1987 after they'd lost 85-86. How did that come about, and why were you involved? Was it the swap with Grenville Dietrich?
Only with the bar takings, not with actual playing.
That's gold.
Yeah, I decided to leave West Torrens. I trained at St Kilda a couple of times.
So you did, right?
Yeah, but I wanted to really play with Andrew and Darren, who I grew up with. Sorry,
of course, yeah.
And that sort of was and ahhing which way to go. And I end up going to North Adelaide.
And what would take us into that, Steve? What was the decision-making process? I know you just mentioned Andrew and Darren, but didn't have the fascination of playing VFL footy and rated Sandford a lot higher?
No, I don't know why I didn't go, really. I had no real ties here, but just the move. I just decided to stay at North Adelaide, and I was sort of going to leave Torrens because they were sort of going in a different direction then when Paul Weston was coaching. So I ended up playing at North, and luckily enough, I would have liked to have a crack at the VFL, there's no doubt about that, but lucky enough I played in a couple of premierships where I went.
Yeah, well, I guess the competition was pretty even back in those days, how it was situated. But your coaches, Mick Noonan coached you in both of those grand finals. Give us a little bit of background on him. Yeah,
Michael, well, I think why they recruited me was because I used to get a fair bit of the ball playing the centre. And
that was handy?
Yeah, so when he got me over there, he realised I could get the ball. He just had to tidy up my kicking a fair bit.
Yep.
And I was his main bunny at circle work. We used to do a fair bit of that. And if I missed the body, he let me have it.
Yeah. What was your punishment?
Just get it and then kick it properly. I just had to, work on my kicking. So I went from getting a lot less disposals I did at Torrens to just improve my kicking.
Yeah.
Took me about half a year, but finally I got it down where he was a bit happier with me.
I'll tell you what, you got reasonable service, though, from a bloke called Mick Redden.
Yeah, Mick used to say to me, we only just stayed up his house a few weekends ago, a few of us, and I was talking to Mick, and when I used to get on the ball, which wasn't very often because I rode with Darryl.
Oh, gee, that's starvation corner, mate.
So I was basically a permanent forward pocket, really.
Yeah.
And when I did get in the centre square, Mick would say, just stand there. And then I worked out why he used to tell me to stand there, because that's where he wasn't going to hit it.
Oh, that's gold.
He had a few classy boys in there at the time, with the Jarmans and Clumpy and that. Yeah.
You were the decoy, Steve, were you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was, Just stand there and take one of them out to play, basically.
Mate, I know you're a bit self-depreciating, but you're a super talent. I mean, you're fantastic at football. I reckon I saw you representing South Australia in indoor cricket as well at some stage. You're a great golfer. I mean, gee whiz, mate. Natural at everything.
I'm not a great golfer, Tim. Just the day I played with you, you made me look good.
I do that for people. I'm really good at that. But was I right? You did play indoor cricket for the state?
Yeah, I played 4 or 5 years for the state side. Harvey Jolly was our captain, the cricketer, and then I captained the last couple of years, and that was basically when I was playing at West Torrens, and it was... Yeah, Glenn sort of let me go away because it wasn't in footy season, so he let me go to the state carnivals, and then I went with Mick, and I basically finished with the state side after that. So,
well, and let's stay on the state theme. You played 3 games for South Australia, State of Origin footy. What's your take on it? You'd love to see it back, and give us a bit of an idea of who you played, some of the great names that you played with in those 3 games.
Yeah, I didn't actually play State of Origin. I played for the state side, but the State of Origin, they had a couple of very ordinary rovers in front of me with Platten, McGuinness and Nailey.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit hard to get in their side. It was just a privilege to train with them, actually, because we used to do circuit work out there with the state boys, and there wasn't a mistake made. The ball used to fly around 100 mile an hour. But I did play against WA a couple of times just for the state, our SANFL side, and...
Still would have been some handy players running around there, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, Mick played, and Mark Nailey he played over in Perth with us 1 year, and I was rooming with Mark, actually.
Yeah,
and I thought I'll just do the normal thing and have a couple of beers for the game. And I'm rooming with him, and every time I went to get a stubby out the fridge, I could just see him at the corner of the eye staring at me. He said, what the hell's he doing? They made me nervous, so I only had 2.
You were hydrating, Steve.
Yeah, getting ready for the game on the Tuesday, it was.
You are a classic. North Adelaide, when you walked in '87, though, that team was ripe for a premiership. It had 2 really good seasons in '85, '86, and the Bays got hold of them in those 2. But '87, there was a different steeliness about the side, wasn't there? And you coming in, of course, John Roberts joined the side as well. Just probably gave them a couple of players that they need to top it off. And can you describe the actual day and I suppose the absolute relief for the Roosters back at Prospect?
There was no doubt. I still remember it vividly that the first day I ever trained with them down at Underdale,
Yep.
I remember driving home with a couple of boys after the game. I said, we're going to go top this year.
Yeah.
I could just sense it from the first day I moved in, trained with the boys, because they just, after 2 years, they just weren't happy and they just wanted to get back on the board and do it. So I could just sense the atmosphere around the boys that they were going to, we're going to be up there and try and win it anyway. So, and it worked out well, and we made sure, I think, early in that game that the Glenelg didn't attack us. We thought we'd get on the front foot and attack them first, so that sort of worked out well too.
Geez, it did, and then it was just a feast. I think you kicked 4 yourself, mate, but it was a feast of goals, wasn't it?
Yeah, I kicked the first one of the game, and I knew that Peter Carey was going to hit at the bones near the point post, and I thought, I'll just run in there and get in between them, and he hit it to me, and Mick Redden still says to this day he hit it. I've showed him replay and said, nah, Super hit it to me, not you. Well, you never used to hit it to me.
It was a mistake. Now, the second one is 1991. Obviously, everyone's talks about it and still goes down in South Australian folklore. I have to not thank you for one thing, Steve. Matt Simpson happened to be my English teacher at St Michael's at that point in time. And I wasn't a great English student, but after what you went through with him in the grand final, he rocked up to school on Monday with a fairly sizable shiner, and he gave me a great mark in my English paper. So I must thank you for that.
Might have worked out.
So I'm sure you got a lot of feedback around what you didn't do quite so well. But take us through that. I mean, it was a very physical afternoon, to say the least.
Yeah, it was sort of just a frustrating time for me, because Matty played with us when he first came from Brisbane, actually. He played one game.
Yep.
And I got, I don't know what his beef was with me, but I tried to just give the ball back to the boundary umpire one day at Prospect Oval, and he just come in from behind me and shoved my head into the concrete gutter. I got no idea why, and I remember having a go at him, and nothing against school teachers, but I didn't think school teachers were the toughest blokes ever play footy, so I wasn't really that frightened of him. And then in the grand final, I think Hardy kicked 4 goals on him in the first quarter, and then he went on to me. They changed McKinnon and put Matty on me, and I was just walking back the centre bounce, and he just come barrel and knocked me straight over again, straightened me back, and I thought, Matty, I said, you're not that tough, mate. So I told him I was going to get him, and then he was hanging on to me at the boundary throw before the boundary before the boundary umpire threw it in, and Redden hit it to me. I caught it one hand, got done holding the ball, so I was not happy. So I said to Laurie, if he hangs on to me again, Laurie, I'm going to knock him out. And Laurie said to me these words, he goes, don't do that, Simsy. And then I think it was only about a minute and a half later when I honestly didn't mean to hit him that well, but I did mean to give him a bit of a tune-up though, but I didn't mean to get him that good. But
geez, it balled over from that moment onwards. I think they lost focus. They tried to kill you, and you ended up with the closed over eye and the like, and then after the game, I remember the in-room interviews being done, and I had to turn away. I'd had a big night. I didn't feel well. But
it looked worse than it was.
You played with a couple of lads there too. A very young Brodie Atkinson. I think it might have been his first year of senior football in that team as
Brodie.
well. Yeah, I mean, the emotion in the room from him and others, it did mean a lot to the Roosters.
Oh, yeah, we had a bit of a changes, because that's basically when the Crows come in, so we lost a few blokes to the Crows, and Darren went over to Hawthorn, so yeah, so we brought in a few young blokes, and they all fit in well, and Bomber come in, there was a few others there, and Darryl one, he played every now and again because he was with the Crows, and
gee, what a great final.
Yeah, so they basically come, we knew they come out the intent to try and upset us, I think, because even though we finished third, we were going pretty well at the end of the year. We thought we were going to win it, and to Westie's credit, they come from fifth.
Yes, yeah.
And they just come out there with one thing in mind to start probably upset us. And I remember going to the Compy at quarter time. I said, we're not putting up with this bullshit, mate. So we'd do something about it. So, and then they just lost the plot after that, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, the game's changed significantly, hasn't it? And you only just got to see what's happened on the weekend. Have you got any involvement in footy at any level now? And where do you think the game is going in terms of that sort of stuff moving forward?
Oh, shit, I would have got life now if that happened now. Yeah, it's like, it wasn't good. And even though I hit Matty, I still felt bloody sorry about it after, about knocking a bloke out. That was... But anyone that gets knocked out now, I believe, boys, that it's... I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think they train enough tackling. They want to go the other way, but I don't think they train the bodies enough anymore to actually get hit. Because there would have been 10 times if blokes would have got tackled and hit their head on the ground back in our day, but there didn't seem to be a problem. But now they're always... As soon as they hit the ground, there's a problem and they get knocked out. And I think that McCartan from Sydney, he quit and he got KO'd and he didn't even hit anything. So I just think their bodies aren't attuned to the rough, the rough and tumble of the game anymore.
Yeah, I reckon we had softer grounds too, Simsy. I reckon that they got to make them look pristine. I reckon the grounds are too hard. So that could be another theory.
Yeah.
Hey, mate, you mentioned Mark Nally, and unfortunately, Mark's no longer with us, but you too have had a bit of a health battle. How's your health, mate?
I've had the last couple of times with the oncologist in Adelaide, I've been all clear. I had 2 brain operations.
Yeah.
They took 2 lots of melanomas out of my head, and they basically said to me I only had 2 years to go, and it's been 3.5 years, so I've got an extra 1.5 bonus at this stage. So, and I'm a lot better, I can walk a lot better now. I've had a hip replacement, which I think, not too many footballers haven't had hip replacements these days, I don't reckon.
Mate, that's great to hear. I'm really pleased, and I hope you keep going well, mate, because it's always great to catch up and have a chat and a beer with you.
I usually run into you somewhere during the year, and...
always fun. I'll see you at the Prospect Club.
We'll come down there, because even though both sides can't make the finals, it still should be, a bit of fun out there, and the boys try and win, and I've got to do the talk at the President's Lunch. So.
Oh, you beauty.
Yeah, I'll be down there Saturday doing that. And,
brilliant.
it's good to hear from you boys. I hope your show's going well, and it's all going all right.
All brilliant, mate, and we really appreciate you coming on, mate.
Thanks, Steve.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks, boys. Thanks for calling.
Stephen Sims, where are they now? Of course, Rooster Premiership player in 87 and 1991, all thanks to Walco. It's SA's biggest cover-up, and Walco's at the centre of it. You put your bull to bed in winter, and you can get that cover made right here in Adelaide. A Walco Guardian pool cover.
9 to 6, let's check your traffic.
Roads are super slippery after those heavy showers. Take it easy. Look out for crashing a car roll over at Penfield Gardens, Northern Expressway near Heasley Road. Another crash at Dry Creek involving 3 cars and a boat. It's on the north-south motorway near the Port River Expressway. Really big delays there too. And a Carvey tree at Winvale, the Golden Way to McIntyre Road. Honda's mid-size SUV clearance is now on. Get 8 years warranty and roadside assist, plus a $1,000 fuel card on 23 built Honda ZRV and CRVs. Hurry now, T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Your baby's mind is growing even before they arrive. The more you talk and sing and play, the more their mind will thrive. Every time you interact with your child, you're helping grow their mind. For more information, visit wordsgrowminds.org.au.
Hi, Tom Burlinson here, inviting you to a celebration of swing.
Somewhere beyond the sea.
The greatest songs of the style, all performed live with my swingin' band.
It's up to you, New York.
Tom Burlinson and his big band still swinging at the Capri Theatre November 8. One show only, book now. capri.org.au.
Whether you're kicking goals today or your prime was back in the day, you can rely on Complete Comfort every night, Tim. Complete Comfort makes amazing mattresses. They're built with active zones, and you can adjust them in seconds to ensure your body gets the right support.
Yeah, this is great news. And if you're still into your sports and activities, well, and you've still probably got some injuries from the old days, this looks like your average bed, but they are far from average.
Yeah. And if you're a regular being sent off for snoring, do you snore, Timmy?
Apparently, it's only a rumour.
Yeah. These mattresses can help with that too. So Ange will be happy. There's so many reasons why a quality bed with support can adjust with just a click of a button. It's a huge investment in your well-being.
Go and check them out. Visit completecomfort.com.au. You can go to their Wavell showroom and you'll experience Complete Comfort's beds for yourself. They're brilliant.
The Honda mid-size SUV stock clearance is on now. Get 8 years warranty and 8 years roadside assist, plus a $1,000 Ampol fuel card on 2023 build Honda ZR-V and CR-Vs. Visit us at Formula Honda to test drive today. Ampol fuel card offer valid until September 30. Different warranty applies for vehicles used for commercial purposes. T's and C's at honda.com.au. Hurry into Formula Honda. Find us at Glen Osmond Road, Glen Osmond, or North East Road, Modbury.
Hey guys, did you know that Austrac Campers is just around the corner? That's right, at Camden Park we have a massive showroom set up with all of our models on display, so come and see for yourself.
Austrac
Campers! At Simplicity Funerals, we have been keeping funerals simple and easy for over 40 years. Visit simplicityfunerals.com.au or call us 24/7 to get started today. Simplicity Funerals. Easy, respectful, simple.
This station endorses the Commercial Radio Code of Practice, which has been registered by the Australian Communications and Media Authority. Content on this station is regulated by the code. The code covers areas such as material not suitable for broadcast, news and current affairs, Australian music, live hosted entertainment, and the promotion of gambling during live sports. You can obtain a copy of the code by contacting this station or from the Commercial Radio Australia website, commercialradio.com.au.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sport Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
It's 5 minutes to 6. Zach Clough from Adelaide United to join us shortly. But we want to get you to the Royal Adelaide Show. Are you ready? We have tickets to give away. You can book them at theshow.com.au and you can head to Foodland as well. But you can find them here on 5AA by calling 8223 0055. Timmy's quiz. We'll play that in just a couple of seconds. Here's some interesting update here from the Matt Crouch, let's call it Hatgate, from him coming off the ground. There's allegations of assault, or as close as you can probably...
Capagate.
Yeah. Well, here's Matt Crouch. He's been speaking just now on Channel 7. Let's have a listen to what Matt said.
Was he yelling at you?
You can have a look at it. Everyone can look at the vision and they can make that decision for themselves. But yeah, as I said, that's all I'll say for now.
So not a whole lot to say, but there's a new vision that's come out. Channel 9 have just posted it, where it's a little bit more straight up and down the line of the race, and you can see him actually flick the hat off the fan. So interesting.
Well, I know Matt really well, and if you're talking about a great human being, you're not going to. And I'm not saying whatever happens, right? And it's not right. We don't want anyone touching anyone, players, supporters, anything like that. But clearly something's said to upset him. I think that's a reasonable question to ask.
Yeah, and I think a flipping of the hat. I'm sort of. I don't like
it's a
you
warning.
said. We don't want contact. You're right. We don't want contact either way.
No.
But also verbal abuse probably.
Well, you got to understand as well. Like it's the timing as well. Like coming off a high game, like players, their heart rate's at 200. They're not just sitting there like just taking a cool, calm line of the day. And he's a competitive beast, Matty. He wouldn't have been happy about losing.
That's what happens sometimes in the heat of battle. Let's go to the quiz for the Royal Show tickets. We've got from O'Halloran Hill, Steve playing. G'day, Steve. And we've got from Campbelltown, Tony playing as well. Now, Steve,
g'day, guys.
You will be first, my friend. And
thanks, mate.
You'll get the first guess.
Hey, I'd like to say something first. I'd like to take my hat off to Matt Crouch.
Oh,
hey!
There it is, a boom tish. We needed that. Beautiful. Thank you, Steve. And so did that chap. So let's go to the question. Now, I'll give you a range, Steve, okay?
Alrighty.
Rory Laird has had the most clearances of any Crows player this season. How many clearances has he had? Now, it's between 100 and 120.
Oh, we'll go down the middle. We'll go 111. What about that?
111. Thank you, Steve. Now we'll go to Tony. Tony, it's between 111 and 120.
116.
Okay. We'll go back to Steve. Steve, it is between 111 and 116.
We'll go 112, Tim.
Tony, it is between 112 and 116.
Let's go 113. Thank you, Tim.
Steve, it is between 113 and 116.
Oh, go 114. There it is.
Steve, you got it. Mate,
guilty.
You get to that Royal Show and you can buy any hat you want, mate, all right?
I'll be getting one for sure, mate.
Congratulations. Well done, mate.
Thanks,
all the
Pete.
best with
Thank
that.
you so
You'll have a
much.
great time, buddy. Royal Adelaide Show. And if you want tickets, go to theshow.com.au or Foodland. You can get them there.
You certainly can. 1 minute to 6.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowie and Timmy G.
Hello, Cherry. I'm listening. Don't miss Southern Cherry's latest finance offer across the Cherry Tiggo 7 Pro range with 5-star ANCAP and a 7-year warranty.
And the finance rate?
Well, that's too low to share on radio. You'll just have to ask the team at Southern Cherry yourself.
Approved applicants only. Credit criteria, fees, charges and terms and conditions apply. Finance is provided by Allied Retail Finance Proprietary Limited. ABN 396513197774. Trading as Cherry Motor Finance. Australian Credit Licence 483211.
Learn more at Southern Cherry.
Need help navigating the NDIS? Anglicare SA is here for you. As a trusted NDIS provider, we offer tailored support to help you live independently. From supported living arrangements to one-on-one assistance and therapy services, we cover every aspect of your needs. Whether it's finding the right accommodation, learning new skills, or accessing treatments, Anglicare SA is your guide through the NDIS. Empower your life with Anglicare SA. Visit our website or call us today. Anglicare SA, your partner in living the life you choose.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio, and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
A possible shower tonight down to 10, a shower or two tomorrow 19. With the 6 o'clock news, I'm Mel Usher.
Experience the 2024 new gen Mitsubishi Triton with 10 years warranty and servicing. Test drive at Agostino Mitsubishi.
Jetstar customers are taking the airline to court. It's accused of failing to refund passengers for cancelled flights between 2020 and 2022 due to the pandemic. Instead, Jetstar handed most of its customers travel credits, which were subject to significant restrictions. Echo Law partner Andrew Paul says the airline was legally obliged to give passengers their money back.
We would hope the airline has, which is now very profitable, can see the need to do the right thing. It's had the benefit of holding customers' money for so many years, and it should do the right thing now, give that money back, compensate people for the time they've been out of pocket, and try to make the wrongs of the past right.
A landmark report has found more funding is needed for the nation's frontline domestic violence services. Zach De Silva has the details from Canberra.
Australia's Domestic, Family and Sexual Violence Commissioner has handed down her first yearly report. It looks at how well the nation is going when it comes to preventing violence against women. Michaela Cronin says there has been some good progress, but she's warning current government funding isn't enough and support services are being stretched too thin.
All governments are looking at a need to look at where they need to strategically fund the service system.
Ms Cronin is also calling for more engagement with men to stop violence before it starts, but she says more data is needed to understand the full scale of the problem.
The truck driver that allegedly struck footy journalist Sam Landsberger in Melbourne yesterday has been charged after he allegedly refused to provide police with a blood sample. The reporter died in hospital a few hours later. 9 News reporter Reid Butler has the latest.
We're told he underwent an alcohol and a drug roadside test at the time and tested negative to both, but now we know he allegedly failed to provide that blood sample. And providing a blood sample is common practice in a matter as serious as that one. He has been banned indefinitely from driving. Meantime, the heartbroken parents of Sam have broken their silence. Dr. Jake Landsberger, his father, telling the Age newspaper today, "I just keep saying to my wife this morning, I wish I could just grab him one more time, wake him up and say, have a look at all these tributes that are happening for you over the last 12 hours because it is incredible."
Still in Victoria, and a trial date has been set for Erin Patterson. The 49-year-old is alleged to have murdered 3 people by serving beef Wellington laced with poisonous mushrooms at her Leongatha home last year. Patterson will go on trial in the Supreme Court in April next year. Kamala Harris's husband took centre stage on day 2 of the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Doug Emhoff telling the party faithful his wife is ready to lead.
Kamala knows that in order to win, we cannot lose focus. She'll lead from the belief that wherever we come from, whatever we look like, we're strongest when we fight for what we believe in, not just against what we fear.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Take sporting entertainment to the next level at Sporties in the Arkaba Hotel, Adelaide's home of live sport.
Port Adelaide will appeal Dan Houston's 5-match ban tomorrow. Meantime, Port Chairman David Koch says the showdown rivalry needs to remain respectful. He says good old-fashioned banter is one thing, but there's a fine line after several incidents off the field.
We're going to have to really look at something before the next showdown. Both clubs to take a responsibility for just taking the sting out of the showdown, the nastiness out of the showdown. You know, you can't punch a mascot. You can't racially vilify a player.
More AFL retirements today. Zach Tui will leave footy following Geelong's finals campaign after 14 seasons across the Cats and Blues, while Sam Naismith is bowing out after 33 games for the Swans and Tigers. And Italian tennis player Yannick Sinner has escaped suspension despite testing positive for a banned steroid in March. The men's world number 1 has been cleared of any wrongdoing. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Help make a real difference to young lives. Register today for Operation Flinders City to Summit this September.
G'day there. Roads are pretty slippery for the drive home. Look out for a crash in a car roll over at Penfield Gardens on the Northern Expressway near Heaslip Road. Awful delays at the moment. Another collision at Dry Creek. 3 cars and a boat in this one. The north-south muddle near the Port River Expressway. Extensive delays there too. And look out for a camera at Gorge Road at Athelston. Buy a bag of new Formula Canalf base coat and $100 worth of Rondo products at any Canalf trade store, and you can win a Ford Ranger Wild Track. Ends September 30. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
A possible shower tonight down to 10, a shower or 2 for your Thursday, 19. Friday, showers 24. Saturday, mostly sunny, 22. Right now, it's 13 degrees. Now let's check what's happening on 9 News tonight.
Thank you, I'm Brenton Raglis. Tonight, a freak crash has sent a four-wheel drive crashing through a wall of the South Coast Hospital. The new Port Dock rail line is about to open. A class action could force Jetstar to refund hundreds of millions to customers. And Kyle Chalmers says he intends to swim on to the LA Games. And don't worry, you haven't missed the news. Start over on 9 Now as soon as you're home.
Phantom Screens are the only manufacturer that make outdoor blinds up to 12 metres long. More than enough for an outdoor entertainment kitchen, a petting zoo, most of a bowling alley, and a historically accurate Viking longbow. Since 1995, Phantom Screens have been improving homes with top quality, powder-coated, aluminium-framed retractable screens. Whatever space you have, there's a Phantom Screen for you at phantomscreens.com.au.
Weber Weekend is 2 days packed with barbecue brilliance right in time for the new barbie season. It's on this weekend from 10 to 3 at Weber Stores Mount Barker, Mile End, Jeps Cross and the Weber Grill Academy in Rose Park. Get the kids cooking too, or up your barbie game with special masterclasses. It's all free, so look, learn, taste and have fun. Kick off a tasty summer of barbecuing ahead. Find out more at Weber.com and search for Weber Weekend.
Get cashback rebates on energy-saving appliances with Mac Trade Services. Receive up to $600 on eligible fridges, freezers or dryers, thanks to the South Australian Government REPS rebate. Simply buy an eligible appliance and complete the rebate claim form on our website. Visit mactradeservices.com.au or your local Harvey Norman store today.
In Adelaide and across South Australia, this is 5AA, always Adelaide.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
Welcome back at 8 minutes after 6. We have Driving with Dixon coming up tonight at 6:30. Charlie Dixon's motoring show every Wednesday night. And of course your calls, 8223 0000. Keep them coming in on all things footy and all things sport.
Yeah, we're not far away from the start of the A-League system. They're playing a little, what would you say, cup games at the moment, a few trial games and the like. They got the Australia Cup round of 16 coming up next Tuesday, 27th of August. They'll continue their way through that. But we've got one of their superstars on the line, Zach Clough. G'day, Zach.
Hey guys, how are we?
Not too bad, mate. Did you get some time? Did you get a chance to get back home or anything?
Yeah, I headed back for about 5 weeks. We had a baby in March, so it was good to get home. And,
good.
And all the family were desperate to see him, so
yeah,
it was nice to get home.
How is the little fella going?
Yeah, he's great. He's nearly 6 months, and he's coming on, and the changes you see every day, it's brilliant to see.
Oh, fantastic, mate. And I reckon it changed your perspective on life too, and probably make your football even better.
Yeah, I think it has, to be honest. It changes a lot of things and perspective on everything. There's not many more important things in the world than your children, so I think it does make you more relaxed when it comes to football and work, and I think that gets the best out of you sometimes.
Now, the couple of games you have been able to play, are you sort of finding each other, working things out, who's where? Because there's a fair few changes in the lineup.
Yeah, exactly. That's what pre-season's for, and most Australian sports know that you get a long time in pre-season, I think, with the Aussie rules as well. They get a good few months to suss everything out and get used to new faces. So, yeah, that's been great, and we've still got a long way to go. I think we've got 9 weeks on Friday is our first game, so yeah, we've got plenty of time to go still.
Yeah, and in terms of that, Zach, you've had 9 departures and 7 transfers in, so anything you like so far?
Yeah, everyone who's come in so far has given us fresh energy. It's always good to meet new faces and integrate them into the change room, and everyone's settled in really well. I hope it's exciting for the new season, and I think the club will be looking to add a few more as well.
And Carl's showed over the last probably 12 months to 2 years, he loves backing the youth and developing youth rather than bringing in, experienced players. Who can you highlight from that group?
There's plenty of them. There's Luca, Johnny Yule, Panakikianis is doing really well. He's a central defender. I'm sure you'll see more of him. There's plenty of young players. Austin Ayubi's having a good pre-season. He's looking fitter and stronger since coming up from the NPL. There's plenty of good young talent at this club, and I'm sure you'll see it all this season.
What about you yourself, mate? Had a good pre-season? You feeling all right?
Yeah, I feel good. I feel like after having this is my third pre-season now, I feel like I'm learning to manage it for the long time, and I've had little niggles in the past, so I'm hoping that I can get through the pre-season without any small niggles this time and manage the body a little bit better.
Oh, that's good news. That first game, 26th of October, Central Coast at home. I tell you what, talk about opening with a bang.
Yeah, we had it last year as well, the same team. We beat them 3-0.
I was going to say, we whacked them.
Do something similar. We'll be ready for that. We've got plenty of time to work on the game plan we'll be going with this season. So, yeah, it's exciting and can't wait for it now.
Well, we've actually started a football show here on a Thursday night.
The World Game with Stefan Moore.
The World Game with Stefan Moore. Yeah. What are you expecting from that? Any great heights?
I think that'll be good. He asked me to come on tomorrow night, actually, but the missus has booked a dinner, so maybe the week after I might get on and have an appearance with Steph.
You've snubbed him already.
Keep the date nights up, mate, with a new baby. Make sure you keep that intact.
Well, it's a good point.
Yeah, Timmy's a little bit off the mark with that now.
Yeah.
You're on the next phase. He's got grandkids now.
I'm having grandfather date nights. Yeah, It's not great, but that'll be good, mate. I reckon it's great. I think Steph's pretty happy about it, but it'll be good to keep promoting the game as well locally.
No, for sure. It's a great opportunity for Steph, and I've said to him I'll come on whenever he wants me. He just needs to ask, and I'd love to come on and speak about football, and all the games are huge all over the world, so it'll be good to keep up to date with all that stuff, and brilliant show.
Well, you got Olympic, I think, in the next round of 16 of the Australia Cup, so hopefully getting a win there next Tuesday. They're nice things to go through, and if you can, it's one you continue playing, and it gets higher each time the standard, doesn't it? But if you can keep going, it's a good part of your pre-season, isn't it? If you can keep going deep.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's important that we have competitive games in the pre-season with the length it is, because you have to stay focused on these games, and this is a route into Asian football. So if you can win the cup, it's a brilliant opportunity to go and play in Asia the following season.
Yeah.
So this is probably the best way to get into a competition like that. So I think that's got to be the drive for us as players and as a group. We want to win this competition, like any other competition. You want to win it if you're in it.
Hey, Ernest Faber, the PSV legend, he's come over as the club's technical director in the off-season. You had much to do with him just yet?
Yeah, he's around every day, really. He's loving the Adelaide life. He's going to be brilliant for the club to have someone with his pedigree. What he's done in the game is huge. His knowledge will only help the club, and I'm really excited to be a part of what's to come with Ernest and all the other staff as well. I think it can only be a good thing.
Well, mate, I reckon you're up and about. You got the newborn, you're back in track, you're feeling good. I reckon we're going to have a cracking season at the Reds.
Yeah, I think so as well. I'm really positive about this year. We've got plenty of young talent and some good experienced heads in there as well. So let's hope we can have a good year.
Beautiful, mate. Get off to a good start. Yeah. Thanks very much for your time, buddy.
Good luck, Zach.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Excellent stuff. Zach Clough, Adelaide United. Well, he's been up the front, kicking lots of goals. Yep. So he's one of the experienced heads that we do need around the young'uns that we've got in that squad. And those young ones that he was talking about, I've seen a lot of those debut last year. So I think they'll be better for that run last season. And we should look to some good football at Cooper Stadium.
Let's get back to your calls. 8223 0000 is the number if you want to get interactive.
Absolutely. Brett at Hillbank. G'day, Brett.
Yeah, g'day. Yeah, Timmy. Yeah, look, I just wanted to ring up in response to old Johnny that rang up from Port Augusta, just to throw in my 2 bobs worth as a Crows supporter and North Adelaide supporter in the SANFL for a long, long time. Now, I can remember, was it KG that needed to get a police escort out of Alberton one day from his commentary box? Do you remember that one, Timmy?
Yeah, he left the game. Didn't get a police escort, but...
Yeah, well, he was worried. KG said he was worried for his life that day. Yeah. That's out of his own. That's words out of his own mouth, not mine. Now we can always go back to all sorts of things. I mean, like you look at the Port supporters. They deserted their club back in 2011, and there was tarps brought out because they just weren't going to the game. You know, we all remember the banana throwing incident at Eddie Betts. Do we all remember that one? That was pretty ordinary. So there's always a comeback. So he can say what he likes, but as Crow supporters, we've got some things that we would like to say too. And not only that, about Matthew Nicks. Now, the reason why the Crow supporters aren't saying anything about him is because we've been saying it all year. And what's the point of saying anything now? The season's done. Next year he's going to be on borrowed time if the club's in the same position at the end of the year next year. Don't we agree?
Well, he just got the 2 years, Brett. That's probably the thing, because he'll finish this year with another 2. So I think that's probably... And then it gets a bit ugly, doesn't it, if you're mid-year sort of talking about that. But look, pre-season brings back hope and optimism, so...
Yep, and improve your list, change your game style. I did my Channel 7 thing today, and the big thing was it's a dead rubber game, but ultimately it's about another opportunity for the young players to get another opportunity to go into pre-season. It's a long time between round 23 and round 1 next year, so you want to put your best foot forward from an own personal point of view. Yep. And the other thing too is it gives you, once again, what does Adelaide need to do from the coaching perspective? What didn't work well this year, and what do we need to focus on to make sure we're winning consistently in 2025? So there's still a little bit to play for, and that's what you do as a coach and list management and all those things. But I'd hope I'd love to see him maybe debut just one more. Give him an opportunity. Maybe Oscar Ryan or one of these guys that potentially just give him a taste. I mean, ultimately, does it really matter?
Changes their attitude to pre-season.
Absolutely. And they sit there and they go, geez, I played on Chad Warner, I played on Errol Goulden, I played on whoever it may be, and they will go, well, that's the gap I need to get to.
Well, if Hawthorn proved anything this season, it's the last couple of years. Sure, they played the kids, they mightn't have been ready, but they just had to get them games experience, and all of a sudden in one season they've rocketed into the 8.
Yep.
Alrighty, let's go to Troy in WA. G'day, Troy.
Hello, Timmy and Campo. How are you, boys?
Good, buddy.
Troy. Yeah, I've got a good banter story on from the showdown I had last night. But can I just describe to you, I've been listening to your show all afternoon and most of the week. With both sides, I'm a Port Adelaide supporter, as you know, Timmy.
Yep.
But with Crows and Adelaide supporters, can I describe it to you?
Go for it.
Mate, seriously. Get over it. And, I just can't understand it myself. I love a bit of banter, as you boys know.
Yep.
I rang your sister station over here, boys, last night, and I'm going to the game on Sunday night. I can't wait for it. Me and my 2 girls go every year. And I was talking to the boys on PR, and I said to them, any chance I can see you? And they said, oh, yeah, we'll be floating around somewhere. But I said, I've got a bit of an issue with the security screening. And they said, oh, what's your problem? I said, well, I've got no teeth.
Oh, right. You got him, did you? Well played, Troy. There it is again.
Yeah.
Try the veal, near till Tuesday.
Oh, we've had a few of these tonight, haven't we? It's 19 minutes after 6. More of your calls coming up next.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowie and Timmy G.
It's showtime at Wayville Hyundai. The best time to get your car serviced with free parking, complimentary $25 food and drink coupon, and a free car wash and vacuum. Change the way you Hyundai at Wayville Hyundai, opposite the showground.
My name is Doug. I'm here with my friend Deb from St. Louis Home Care.
We'd even call you family, Doug.
Deb's certainly there when I need her, and she helps me with my shopping, cleaning, and takes us out and about on the bus.
With our St. Louis Home Care packages, we're here to help you stay in the home you love for longer.
Oh, it's made a big difference in my life, that's for sure.
Join Doug and Deb. Google St. Louis Home Care today.
SEW Eurodrive, a global designer, developer and manufacturer of drive technology. With complete engineered solutions and after-sales technical support, they'll find the right solution for you. sew-eurodrive.com.au.
The way we connect with listeners is changing. Radio, podcast, streaming, in-store, and the way to connect your business with millions of Aussie listeners every week is at Amplify. August 27 and 28 at Jama's Kitchen, Bowden. Tickets are free, but you need to register at audiorsvp.com.au. Hear how audio can change the way you do business for the better. Register now at audiorsvp.com.au.
Today I'm talking to Tracy, who's one of Arbor Vitae's many happy customers. Hi.
Hello, Lee.
When did you start taking Arbor Vitae and what for?
I'm a cake maker by trade and suffered with sore hands for years, which is a common issue for my fellow bakers. A friend suggested I tried Arbor Vitae, and I can't believe how well it's worked for me.
What benefits have you noticed from Arbor Vitae?
It's like a magic potion. I'm able to work with no pain. No stretch of the truth. It's worked so well for me.
Are you happy to recommend Arbor Vitae? And what would you tell our listeners about this product?
Absolutely. And I'd say to them that I felt my pain reside after the second bottle. So if you do try it and don't feel any changes from the first bottle, stick with it. It's also got a great berry-like flavour, which makes it easy to consume.
It's wonderful to hear how much of a positive impact it has had on your life. Thank you for your time, Tracy. Remember, for more information, visit arborvitae.com.au, arborvitae.com.au, stocked in chemists and health food stores. And remember, always read the label and follow the directions for use.
Hello, Cherry. I'm listening. Don't miss Southern Cherry's latest finance offer across the Cherry Tiggo 7 Pro range with 5-star ANCAP and a 7-year warranty. And a finance rate? Well, that's too low to share on radio. You'll just have to ask the team at Southern Cherry yourself. Approved applicants only. Credit criteria, fees, charges and terms and conditions apply. Finance is provided by Allied Retail Finance Proprietary Limited. ABN 396513197774. Trading as Cherry Motor Finance. Australian Credit Licence 483211. Learn more at Southern Cherry. Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sport Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
22 minutes after 6, driving with Dixon right around the corner at 6:30 tonight with Port Adelaide and 5AA's own Charlie Dixon. But of course, just enough time to squeeze in a couple more of your calls. 8223 0000.
All right, let's go to Pennington. G'day, Paul.
Good evening, gentlemen. I had to have a chuckle in your first hour of your show when Rosemary from Ulivery rang the station and made her comments about, obviously, all of the situation that we've seen since last Saturday evening. But the bit that really made me laugh was her last comment about the fact that what really caused all the animosity on Saturday night was the fact that Port Adelaide were wearing the greatest football jumper in Aussie rules footy. And that, for me, just proves one thing, that we live rent-free in the minds of a lot of Adelaide fans, and that's the way we love it, and that's the way a lot of Port fans love it, and we hope that people like Rosemary continue to enjoy the fact that we wear that wonderful jumper, and that it continues to give her the anxiety that it gives her.
Thanks, Paul. We've had a few texts on that front as well, but that's all right. Everybody's allowed to have a crack. All in good fun, all in good nature. Thank you.
Keep it above the line, Tim.
Yeah, exactly, I like that. Let's go to Glenelg. G'day, Peter.
Oh, g'day, Tim. How you going there, mate?
Good, buddy.
I'd just like to send a cheerio to Paul. Well done, mate. When was the last time, you'd know, Tim, Port Adelaide won a premiership wearing that jumper?
Yeah, it's a long time.
A bloody long time ago.
Too long.
I seem to recall the last time they were in the grand final, Glenelg beat them, which was very sweet from my concern, but anyway, mate, I'd just like to say that, Koshy mentioned a lot of things that unsavoury things that happened, but he didn't mention the fact that our best player was taken out by a legal tackle or bump, whatever you want to call it. And I just wonder what the Port people would have thought if, Darcy Fogarty or someone took out Zach Butters. And also, would Port Adelaide have won that game had that incident not occurred? I don't think so, personally. What do you guys think?
Well, you talk about hypotheticals, which is not.
Yeah,
really,
it's difficult to say.
It's hard to say, but
I thought your point was right though on the night, Campo. You said, "Okay, I'm interested in what happens from here."
Yeah,
and I think to Peter's point, Port probably handled that moment onwards better, and that's probably how they did get up over the line. It was a real. What I probably take that incident out. It was a really tough, competitive game that I don't think I've seen in probably 4 showdowns. I think Crows dominated the last 3, where Port I felt like weren't in the race. This time it was a really hard fought battle, and I was thinking to myself, this could go either way. And yeah, it's probably to Pete's point that was a turning point in the game.
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
I mean, you take out, arguably one of their best players. There's no question.
It's cost Dan Houston.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, a finals campaign.
Yeah, it's cost both.
So let's go to Andrew at Osborne. G'day, Andrew.
Hi. I just wanted to sort of put a different point of view across, whether it was actually a concussion or something else that caused Rankin to lose consciousness there. All the impact was on the chest, and I was just wondering whether it was like a precordial sort of thump on his chest that stopped his heart for a split second, made him lose consciousness, and then sort of when he hit the deck ground, he regained consciousness there. And that was the reason why he lost consciousness rather than a head strike.
Yeah, well, hard to say, Andrew. I guess we're not medical practitioners in terms of, but I'd be staggered if it was that. I think we all saw, we've said it the last couple of days around, you don't have to be hit in the head to be concussed. It's the brain shaking inside. It's like whiplash, and ultimately the contact caused some of it, and I think we've all had a good look at it. I think he was dazed on the way down on the back of it, and then when his head hits the ground, probably topped it off. Yeah,
absolutely right.
There you go. That's your Wednesday night.
Do we have just enough time for Kay at Northfield? I think
g'day,
we do.
Kay. How are you?
Hi, how are you? I'm good. All this crap with poor old, what's his name, and his hat and whatever.
Oh, yes.
At least the only thing I've got to say, he wouldn't have knocked his teeth out because he wouldn't have had any.
Oh, another one.
Sorry.
Don't
apologise. Don't apologise, Kay.
You know what? I feel like I'm on. You know when they used to have the stand-up tryouts, and you get 3 minutes to have your bit, and then
You need the audience clapping as well.
You know, this caps off some sort of night on the show. All right, that's enough from us. 27 after 6.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show. David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
A police investigation into an altercation after the showdown. He knocked my hat off.
I'm strongly of the view that charges have to be laid in this case.